If you like the story, you can support the author on Patreon. Link is in the description. Additionally, if you would like to request novels and access my Google Drive where I have 200 plus audiobooks, then you can join my Patreon. Link is also provided in the description.
Chapter 176. Hello? I'm Admiral Kizaru, hey? Weird. Kizaru landed, did not immediately check the surrounding situation, but bring forth a black den mushi in his watch, and tried talking to it. Strange, hello. Hearing that there was no response from the black den mushi, Kizaru frowned. This guy, Sentimeru, actually not answer? It's outrageous. Then, he slowly raised his head and looked forward, his eyes fell on Logan and Zoro. Woo, you pirates who have a bounty of over 100 million are really cruel? You are also taking people as slave. Hey. Logan froze for a moment. You, a dignified marine admiral, don't even care that the Tenryuo Abaito was held as slaves? And even openly teased. Not only Logan was confused, Zoro also looked at Logan in surprise. The situation is different from what you expected. Logan spread his hands. This, I didn't understand. But at this moment, Charlos, who was lying at Logan's feet, met Kizaru's eyes, and his swollen face suddenly trembled with emotion. Quick, come and save me. Kizaru squinted at Charles Ross, and said with a look of shame, help you? Why, should I? Puff. This time, Logan couldn't hold back anymore. What's wrong with this world? Marine Admiral said no to the Tenryuo Abaito? Not only said no, but also mocked him. Logan would never have believed this if he hadn't experienced it himself. Hey! Saint Charlos himself was stunned. It's okay to be killed by pirates, but even Marine dares to humiliate him. This can never be tolerated. He immediately yelled, bastard! You open your dog eyes and take a good look at me. I am Saint Charlos. If you don't come to save me, I will definitely tell my father about this. Whoops! Kizaru's forceful pose suddenly changed. He staggered and then stared carefully at Charlos for a long time. Only then did he say in a horrified voice, You are a Tenryuo Abaito. Logan and Zoro looked at each other. Well, case solved. It's no wonder that this guy looks so easygoing. He didn't even know that the one lying on the ground was Saint Charlos. But if you think about it carefully, Logan has slapped the face of Charlos into a pig's head, and there is no glass cover on his head, and he is tied to a dog chain like a slave. Ask any guy in such a situation, who can regard him as a Tenryuo Abaito. No one dared to think that way, and Kizaru naturally didn't think so either. Nonsense. I'm Saint Charlos. These criminals beat me and humiliated me. You have to kill them immediately. Seeing that Kizaru realized his identity, Charlos Saint's roar became louder. Hearing the roar of Charlos, Kizaru suddenly realized that something was wrong. It can be said that such things as beating Tenryuo Abaito have been rare for hundreds of years. But, putting on a slave collar on a Tenryuo Abaito. This is almost something that he dare not even imagine in his dreams. However, the two guys in front of them not only did it, but also waited for Marine Admiral to come. This is clearly a provocation. Woo! It is indeed unforgivable to do such a thing to the Tenryuo Abaito. No longer thinking about anything, Kizaru raised his hand and pointed his index finger at Logan. With a whooping sound, an extremely thick beam of laser light headed straight for Logan. Haha, here it come. Logan pushed Zoro away, and then pulled the iron chain in his hand, and the wrecked Tenryuo Abaito on the ground was lifted up directly. Logan took advantage of the opportunity to push the fat pig-like body of Charlos forward. Tenryuo Abaito human shield. Puff! The laser beam pierced Saint Charlos in an instant. Logan twisted his waist, and he easily dodged the laser beam penetrating from the back of Charlos. Ah! Dash! Saint Charlos wailed. He looked at the wound hole on his body that had been burned black by the laser, and howled angrily, You want to kill me? Kizaru obviously didn't expect that Logan would use Charlos as a shield, and his expression changed immediately, and he quickly said, Oh, sorry, it's purely a coincidence because I fell into the other party's tricks. Save me before explaining. I'm going to find my father. Saint Charlos was in so much pain that he yelled indiscriminately. No problem. Kizaru raised his finger again. But Logan picked up Charlos in an instant, and blocked him. Kizaru is going mad. With the weakened physique of Saint Charlos, if he give him another shot with his ability, he will really die. But this Logan in front of him wants to use Saint Charlos as a shield. Come on, you're going to attack, right? Logan also imitated Kizaru's appearance, and made a look that didn't want to be beaten. Immediately, Kizaru became angry. Since you use Saint Charlos as a shield, I won't use ranged attacks. Whoosh, Kizaru appeared in front of Logan. Speed is power, Pirate Logan, have you ever tasted being kicked at the speed of light? The moment he spoke, Kizaru's foot had already been kicked. With a bang, Logan brought Charlos in front of him. Groove. The kick that was about to be kicked hard suddenly came to a sudden stop. Kizaru itself is coming at the speed of light, and at this time, he forcibly brakes, but his body still does not move forward. In this way, he staggered immediately, then leaned to the side, and fell to the ground. Hey, Mr. Admiral, why did you fall? Logan grabbed Charlos's collar, then looked at Kizaru who was sitting on the ground with sympathetic eyes. Come on, Admiral. You almost touched me. Woo, you bastard. If you play like this, don't blame me for being serious. As he said that, Kizaru's figure transformed into streamers of light, soaring into the sky. Chapter 177. What is this for? Could it be that you want to use the Yasakani no Megatama? Seeing Kizaru turn into golden light and over the sky, Logan curled his lips, wondering what he was going to do. With the Tenryuo Abaito human shield in his hand, the possibility of Kizaru using such AoE attack is low. Whoosh! A stream of light suddenly landed behind Zoro. I'll take care of this one first, and then concentrate on cleaning up the other. Taste the feeling of being kicked at the speed of light. The moment the words fell, Kizaru kicked out. But just when he thought he had finished one, he felt that his kick was abruptly interrupted. You actually engaged in a sneak attack, what a bastard. At this time, Zoro was holding the sword Wado in his hand, blocking the foot of the yellow monkey. On the blade, the jet black armament haki is extremely powerful. Nani? Actually blocked it. Kizaru was really taken aback, he really didn't expect his sneak attack to be blocked by Zoro. You know, he is the Pika Pika no Mi user, this kick has the speed of light. In addition, his own observation haki is not weak, almost locking Zoro firmly. This foot is the foot that is a one-shot kill. But this rookie pirate who just arrived at the Sabayati archipelago actually blocked it. Although Kizaru saw Zoro's bounty order, he knew that Zoro was the guy who has a bounty of 320 million belly. But the question is, in Kizaru's eyes, is there a difference between your bounty of 300 million and that of a pirate with a bounty of 100 million, underscore? Obviously, there is no difference. If you want to guard against this kick, armament haki is the foundation. Furthermore, observation haki must be very strong. Powerful enough to capture the trajectory of the speed of light. Kizaru wouldn't be surprised if the guy blocking his shot was someone like maybe Rayleigh. However, this is a rookie pirate. As for the sneak attack, Kizaru will not be ashamed of it. He wouldn't take it seriously at all. Since you like sneak attack, how about facing mine? Zoro bounced off Kizaru's kick with one blow, and slashed at Kizaru with a word in his hand. Itaryu, Great Dragon Shock. A soaring sword intent instantly emanated from Zoro's body. In addition, the release of high-level armament haki has formed a strong haki storm. This storm of haki merges with Zoro's sword momentum to form a new power force. With overwhelming force, this power suddenly pressed down on Kizaru. Hey hey hey! No way! Sensing the terrifying aura suddenly erupting from Zoro, Kizaru's face froze instantly. The contempt from the previous moment suddenly disappeared, replaced by a particularly cautious dignified. This rookie pirate are not the same as other rookies. Facing the shocking force, Kizaru passively raised his hands and crossed them above his head, forming a temporary defense. Boom! The energy force is like a nuclear explosion, immediately blurring Kizaru's figure. Next moment, the terrifying explosion completely engulfed Kizaru. Are you kidding? Jewelry Bonnie, who had been spying from a distance, looked at the scene in front of her, and was so shocked that she almost ate her own tongue. Is that green moss head strong enough to defeat an admiral? No wonder they are so brave to treat the Tenryuo Abaito like that. It turns out that people are really not afraid of admiral. The aftermath of the shocking explosion dissipated, and Kizaru's figure looked a little embarrassed. The flamboyant golden suit was riddled with damage. Although he was not injured, he was still in a state of embarrassment. Regarding the effect of this trick, Logan didn't see any difference at all. You know, even in the original plot, Zoro, who had just arrived in New World, once severely injured Monet, the Snow Fruit ability, with a single strike. Although Monet died because of her heart being pierced in the end, judging from her state before she died, Logan afraid that even if she wasn't accidentally killed by her own teammate, she wouldn't be able to survive. It can be seen that Zoro's move is quite powerful against Logia ability users. What's more, today's Zoro armament haki and observation haki have all reached the advanced level. When using this sword, its power is many times stronger than in the original plot. This is Kizaru. If it is replaced by other Logia ability users who are not Admiral, I am afraid that they will die directly under Zoro's blow. Hey! Zoro, I didn't ask you to duel with him. At this time, Logan suddenly reminded. Ah! Sorry, I forgot when I got excited. Remembering what he said earlier, Zoro scratched his head apologetically. You let your guard down. Kizaru stood on the body of the hand and pointed his index finger, laser. The moment this kind of attack burst out from his fingers, it actually magnified instantly. Like a laser cannon, it zooms in loudly. Here comes the opportunity. Observation haki caught Kizaru's attack from far away, and Zoro responded immediately, and his figure instantly adjusted a few steps to the left. At the same time, Kizaru's finger direction was adjusted slightly, and Zoro was locked immediately. The dreaded laser cannon went straight to Zoro. Just when the laser was about to hit him, Zoro made an extreme dodge and avoided the past. The laser cannon missed Zoro, but hit the huge mangrove tree behind Zoro. Boom! In the fiery explosion, the towering mangrove tree that represented the 24th grove fell miserably. Yes! Logan turned his head and saw this scene, excitedly clenched his fists. Logan had already brought Charlos to the side of the collapsed mangrove tree. He pressed the palm of his hand on the mangrove tree. Whoosh! This towering ancient tree was taken into the system space by Logan. These mangroves are very rare wood. It's a pity to throw away the blown-up mahogany, and it's just right to use it as a snack for Mary. The key is, it's not us who broke it, it's Marine Admirals. Chapter 178. Oh my god, this power is too terrifying. Seeing that damage, Zoro simply continued to act out and started the escape. Want to run? Seeing this, Kizaru raised his hand again, and another laser shot at Zoro. This angle, unbiased, happens to be on the line between Zoro and another mangrove tree. Zoro made a few lines of dodge, so that the thick laser beam accurately landed on the mangrove. Boom! In a burst of golden explosion light, the mangrove tree was not spared, and the mangrove tree collapsed. Coming! Logan came to this trophy in an instant and took it into his inventory. Zoro, good job! Keep going! Logan immediately sent a signal to Zoro. Zoro immediately understood. Escape? That is of course impossible. Logan just got 2 snacks for Mary, how can this chance be miss? Logan and Zoro look like trying to run away, but in fact, Zoro fleeing went to the next grove. The two soon arrived at Grove 25. Put down the Tenryuo Abaito. Kizaru was really fooled, he turned into a golden streamer, blocking their way. As Marine Admiral, since he has come here, if these two pirates kidnap Tenryuo Abaito, then he will have no way to explain to Sengoku and the world government. FKU, if you have the ability, come and grab it yourself. While talking, Logan blocked Saint Charlos in front of him, patted the guy's fat pig's head hard, and said, Here. Actually, you just need to use your laser to avoid this fat pig, and then hit me again, isn't it done? Woo, you bastard, you are so provocative. If you have the ability, don't move, see if I can hit you. Seeing Logan's frightened look, Kizaru was also furious. In the original plot it was proven that Kizaru has an amazing shooting accuracy. Don't you remember that when Luffy was on the execution platform, Kizaru directly hit the key in Luffy's hand with a laser? However, facing the situation before him, Kizaru was helpless. The main reason is that Logan's observation haki is stronger than Kizaru's, which causes Kizaru's laser beam to be accurately detected by Logan before it hits Logan. As long as Logan wants, he can move Charlos to be hit by the laser beam instead of him at any time. That's why Kizaru can't fire his laser when facing Logan. However, Logan doesn't want Kizaru to focus on him now, after all, what they want is the tree, not to fight with Kizaru. Suddenly, Logan looked at Zoro, you run first, I have a hostage in my hand, he can't do anything to me. If you are caught by him, I will use this guy to blackmail him. Hey! Don't underestimate me. I'm not the kind person that can be caught casually. Seemingly underestimated by Logan, Zoro was immediately unconvinced. But Kizaru's heart fluttered slightly. Yes. Grab one and use it for a hostage exchange. You guys just give me an idea. You just wait there, and we are going to exchange your crewmate for the Tenryou Obito. Kizaru disappeared with a whoosh, and then appeared in front of Zoro. Next. It is the yellow and green chase battle. Boom. A mangrove tree collapsed. Another tree destroyed. Groove 26. Groove 27. Groove 28. Groove 29. Unknowingly, the trio's chase has moved from Groove 24 to Groove 30. Hey hey hey! This is not right! Suddenly, Zoro panted heavily, and looked at Logan unhappily. Why am I always running, but you are playing around with Tenryou Obito as a shield? Obviously they agreed that the two of us would work together to get some snacks for Mary, but it turned out that he was doing all the work alone, and Logan were so leisurely by the side. No. Let me take the Tenryou Obito and you do the rest. Zoro sprinted and came to Logan. Logan didn't refuse either, and directly gave Zoro the Tenryou Obito. Coincidentally, he also wants to exercise his muscles. Logan took Kizaru to a few more groove, and collected nearly 20 mangroves one after another. A huge figure appeared in front of his eyes. Looking at him, Logan recognized Bartholomew Kuma immediately. And this guy is holding a book in his hand, so there is no doubt that he is the real one. If you wanted to travel, where would you like to go? While Bartholomew Kuma was asking questions, his right palm had already been raised. Travel is expensive, how about you use this time to explore some maze instead? Logan is not stupid at all, he has communicated the magic power of Clow cards. The abilities of the shield and the maze are activated by him at the same time. Bartholomew Kuma's ball bounced directly onto the shield's defensive barrier. However, the shield barrier does not move at all. The ejection wave of the ball disappeared without a trace. At the same time, the maze card in Logan's left hand turned into invisible energy, which enveloped Bartholomew Kuma all at once. Whoosh! Bartholomew Kuma disappeared together with the energy light curtain of the maze card. In the maze space. This is a maze made of magic energy. It looks like a medieval garden maze. The partitions of the maze are formed by tall green grass. Bartholomew Kuma was standing here at this moment. He looked at the green grass barriers on the left and right. After the initial daze, his eyes regained their calmness. He raised his right hand, and shot out at the green grass barrier next to him with a bang. Pressure cannon. The moment his palm touched the air, an air wave in the shape of a bear's paw suddenly appeared in the originally invisible air. As soon as the bear's paw air fluctuation appeared, it was instantly magnified. Boom! The bear paw air cannon violently hit the green grass barrier beside it. In a violent explosion, the green grass barrier was directly blasted to pieces. Bartholomew Kuma raised his foot and stepped towards the gap. But as soon as he came to the front, the gap that was blown up was restored to its original state. Bartholomew Kuma was taken aback for a moment, then released the pressure cannon again. Boom! The green grass barrier was broken, and he immediately left and rushed out. It's just that. When he rushed to the outside the green grass barrier, he found that it was still the inside of the green grass barrier. Boom! 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 The green grass barrier of the maze was bombed in an instant. Before the energy of the maze cards is exhausted, a new maze will be formed at a faster speed. Bartholomew Kuma stopped bombing and looked up instead. The sky above the labyrinth has no cover. He stepped on his feet and jumped to the top. But... tick! When his figure was about to exceed the height of the green grass actually began to rise. Bartholomew Kuma flies a foot higher, and this green grass rise higher. And faster than Bartholomew Kuma's. Bartholomew Kuma stopped, lost in thought. Chapter 179. Sabayati Archipelago. Nani? Bartholomew Kuma, where did that guy go? Kizaru immediately turned on the observation haki, but couldn't sense the existence of Bartholomew Kuma. There's no need to look for him, he's already been killed by me. Logan said as he acted. Do you think I'm a child? Of course Kizaru would not believe such words. Logan spread his hands, believe it or not. Originally Kizaru didn't believe it, but seeing Logan's indifferent look, he suddenly became a little worried. If the other party is trying to prove that Bartholomew Kuma is dead, then he will not be worried. but it is such an indifferent appearance that makes people worry about the safety of Bartholomew Kuma. Hey! Moss Head! You are here! Suddenly, Sanji's voice appeared on the side. He grabbed Zoro by the collar and yelled loudly, "Didn't I tell you to wait in the restaurant? I just wanted to see a woman, but when I turned around, you disappeared." Puff! Logan curled his lips. This is worthy of being Sanji. But Sanji came at the right time. Logan has already collected more than 40 or 50 mangroves to use as snacks for Mary, which is enough. All they have to do now is retreat. He want to block and stall Kizaru while the other take St. Charlos. But when only Logan and Zoro were present, this matter could not be done. Because Zoro is a road idiot. If Logan let him take St. Charles back to going Mary first, he can't guarantee that Zoro will send St. Charlos back to a marine base. Now with Sanji, this problem is solved. Sanji, you and Zoro will bring back the captives we captured. I'll stop Admiral here. After you go back, send a signal to everyone, and let them gather on the ship immediately. Logan said to Sanji. Okay. Although Sanji is bitter about Logan's capture of Nami's heart, he still have pride in his work. Quick! Moss head idiot, follow me. Sanji grabbed Zoro's and ran away. Say you want to escape in front of Admiral, don't you take me seriously. Kizaru clasped his hands together, and a dazzling light condensed from where his two palms faced each other. The next moment, the golden light group emitted a ray of light. After bouncing back and forth between the buildings a few times, it caught up with Sanji and Zoro in no time. You can't e-space while I'm here. At the end of the beam ejection, Kizaru's figure quietly appeared very angry. Don't forget about me with a whoosh, Logan seemed to appear out of nowhere, and kicked towards Kizaru. The powerful observation haki has already captured Kizaru's trajectory. Logan's own speed attribute is appear at this moment, the speed is almost as fast as teleportation. Even Kizaru's beam, Logan can catch up. Boom! Under the action of armament haki, Logan easily blocked Kizaru's attack. For the appearance of Logan, Kizaru frowned suddenly. This is unreasonable. He is a Pika Pika no Mi user. How can this pirate be faster than him? Logan stepped on the ground. Boom! Boom boom boom! After several violent attacks in a row, his whole body's aura suddenly changed. Logan opened the fifth gate of the 8 inner gate. With such power and speed, Logan flew into the air. Leaf Great Whirlwind. This looks like a volley kick, but in Logan's use, the speed has reached a level that no one has ever seen before. Even Kizaru just felt a blur in front of his eyes at this time, and was hit by Logan's kick. Relying on his veteran fighting instinct, he crossed his arms above his head, just in time to meet Logan's kick. Boom! Kizaru's figure was like a cannonball, which smashed heavily into the concrete building beside him, and then smashed all the way through. After destroying more than a dozen houses in a row, Kizaru stood up from the ruins. What kind of power is this, what the hell? Originally he thought it was just a mission similar to a vacation, but he didn't expect to have so much bad thing happen when he first arrived here. And until now, not only he failed to save Tenryu Obito from the other party, but he was also hit by the other party. There are two options left for Kizaru now. One is to fight by himself. One is to ask the headquarters for help immediately. Rationally speaking, asking the headquarters for help is the best option. But in fact, Kizaru can't do that. Once he does this, it means that the dignified Marine Admiral can't deal with the supernova who just went to sea. This will spread, and Kizaru will really be mocked by other. Old man, what happened? Why haven't you contacted me until now? Just when Kizaru was feeling at a loss, Sentomaru appeared by his side in time carrying a battle axe. Kizaru suddenly shouted angrily, Sentomaru! You finally showed up, I have called you for so long, and you didn't even reply. Uncle, did you make a mistake? I haven't received any messages or calls from you from the beginning to the end. As Kizaru's number one capable officer, Sentomaru knows Kizaru's living habits too well, he reminded, are you talking to the Black Den Den Mushi again? Asterisk the Black Den Den Mushi is used for intercepting call, not for calling. Hey? Is that right? Kizaru looked at the Black Den Den Mushi on his wrist, and blushed suddenly. However, this is not the time to pursue this issue. You must stop those two people from the Straw Hat crew, and you must save the Tenryu Obito from them. Kizaru immediately gave orders to Momomaru. Don't worry, old man. Leave this matter to me. Sentomaru glanced at the direction Kizaru was pointing at, and immediately saw Zoro and Sanji running wildly with Charlos on their backs. I'm not familiar with the road conditions of this island, I'll need to find some shortcut. Sentomaru's speed is not slow, and he took a shortcut, and soon appeared in front of Zoro and Sanji. Give up. My defense is the strongest in the world. Anything can be defended. Sentomaru made a gesture of pushing palms forward with both hands, and said with a resolute face. Brush. One sword-style lion song. Zoro's figure appeared behind Sentomaru. Puff. Blood splashes. Sentomaru fell to the ground. It seems that you did not have the strongest defense in the world. Zoro complained, as he inserted Wado sword back into the scabbard. Chapter 180. Hey! Boy! What are you doing this for? If you want to gain benefits by kidnapping the Tenryou Obito, I advise you to give up your plan as soon as possible. Tenryou Obito will not negotiate with pirates. Seeing that Charlos was taken away by Zoro and Sanji, Kizaru knew it was useless, so he simply wanted to reason with Logan. What if the other party just happens to be soft but not hard? What are you talking about? What are the advantages and disadvantages? The purpose of us taking Charlos away is actually very simple, just to kill him, that's all. Logan crossed his arms in front of him, showing a harmless expression. Nani? Kizaru felt his blood pressure soar. This is the reason? So simple. Do you know what you're talking about? Killing the Tenryou Obito is a bigger crime than declaring war yo the world government. Kizaru was not in a hurry to attack Logan, but persuaded him persuasively. What? Don't tell me that if I don't kill this fat Tenryou Obito, the government of the world won't want to kill me? Come on, you are a marine admiral anyway. You should be able to understand with a little use of your brain. We are pirates. Why would we be afraid of doing crime? Logan walked to the ruins beside him, sat on a big rock, and twitched his lips slightly. I think you understand better than me, the only thing that has the right to speak in this world is this. Saying that, Logan raised his fist. Strength is the right to speak. Okay, my people should have successfully evacuated, and I should go too. We can meet later. Logan waved to Kizaru and left. I can't let you leave so easily. Kizaru's figure turned into a streamer of light, quickly blocking Logan's way. Why? It's almost done. Do you get overtime pay for working so hard? Looking at Kizaru in front of him, Logan rubbed his chin. This little guy works so hard. Could it be that Sengoku added money to him today? That can't be done. You took the Tenryou Obito away, I must capture you, so that I can give the other Tenryou Obito an explanation. Kizaru clasped his hands together and pulled to the sides. A golden light bursts out from between his palms that are slowly parting. Ama no Murakumo. __. Moments later, Kizaru was holding a golden light sword in. But at this moment, an angry voice came from not far away, Marine Admiral. I received information that my big brother was taken away by the criminal. I order you to rescue my big brother immediately. Hey? Another one is here. Seeing this female Tenryou Obito with an air shield on her head, Logan's eyes lit up. Just thinking that fighting with Kizaru is boring, this new Tenryou Obito is here to join in the fun. Logan communicated the magic power of the Claw card, and the fire card instantly appeared in his hand. Fireball. The fire card turned into an invisible energy, and then evolved into a huge fire, which suddenly hit Saint Shalria. Ah! __. Saint Shalria screamed in horror. Although the Tenryou Obito are noble, they are generally powerless. Once such a huge fire is hit her, Saint Shalria will definitely turn into a roast chicken at the speed of light in just 1 minute. Oops! Kizaru panicked immediately. Yasakani no Megatama. The path of golden light quickly shot out from between his palms, and landed in front of Saint Shalria. Whoosh! Just as Saint Shalria was howling in horror, Kizaru propped up a piece of golden light with both hands, completely sealing the raging fire out. After the fire outside disappeared, Kizaru removed the golden light curtain. That scum! He even wanted to burn me to death. Bastard, you must catch him, and I will treat him as my slave. Although she almost experienced death just now, Saint Shalria didn't know how to restrain herself. She kicked Kizaru's leg angrily and shouted. Kizaru frowned. An impulsive thought of I should have let you be burned to death just now came to his mind. Now the fire dissipated, and Logan's figure disappeared. There. Kizaru responded in a low voice, and then simply out of sight, with a whoosh, he found a random direction and chased Logan out. The other side. Going merry. Whoa ha ha. We're back. The schoolboy quartet of Luffy, Usopp, Chopper and Kaya happily arrived at the port and boarded Going Merry. Hey! That bubble Ferris wheel is so interesting. I really want to ride it again. Usopp said happily while recalling the experience just now. Kaya also took a small sip. If I stay in Syrup Village, I might never see such interesting things in my life. Let me tell you, Usopp almost wet his pants when he was on that roller coaster, ha ha ha. Luffy grinned wide, held his hands high, and smiled from ear to ear. Hey hey hey! You still have the nerve to talk about me. You looked no better than me at that time. Usopp retaliate, immediately start exposing each other. Chopper seemed to have noticed something was wrong, he tilted his head and looked at everyone with puzzled eyes. What's the matter? Did something happen? Where is Logan? Chopper glanced at the deck and saw that everyone was there except Logan. Logan is fighting an admiral, but he will be fine. Sanji took a deep breath, and then continued with some difficulty, what's going on is. Having said that, Sanji looked at Luffy. Hey? Luffy pointed to his own, a question appeared on his face. It's not, Luffy, it's. Sanji shook his head, hesitated to speak, then spread out the newspaper in his hand. Luffy brought the newspaper over and saw the headline on the front page, Fire Fist Ace, commander of the Whitebeard Pirates 2nd Division, will be executed at Marineford. When seeing such news, Luffy's whole body went numb, and let out a panic scream. Ace! He held the newspaper tightly in his hand, and the originally optimistic smiling face suddenly became dazed, hesitant, and at a loss. His eyes were confused, and he looked around. I want to save Ace. You guys, you go to the next island first, and after I rescue Ace, I will join you. Bastard, what are you talking about? Sanji picked up Luffy's skirt. Who do you think we are? Zoro touched the handle of the sword. Yes. Luffy, you are going to rescue Ace, we will go with you. Frankie rubbed his fists together. Superior, I'm in, if it's saving people, I really like doing it. Yo ho 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 ho. Brook turned around. Marineford. Let's go and have a look. Hey! Don't do stupid things. Ace's affairs are my own affairs. I must not let everyone be implicated because of Ace's affairs. Listen to me, I will go alone to save Ace. Luffy snapped loudly. Duan! A punch landed on Luffy's head, and Logan's figure was on top of Going Merry. Stupid Luffy! Ace's affairs are your own affairs. But your affairs are everyone's affairs. So, if you dare to say stupid things again, don't blame us for being rude. Logan rubbed his fists, he was the one who punched just now. That's right. Luffy, stop being self-righteous. Your business is our business. If you want to go solo again, let's see if we don't beat you to death. Save your big brother, let's do this. Chapter 181. A deserted island about 70 nautical miles away from the Sabayati archipelago, the Going Merry is currently docked here. Judging from the current situation, Marineford will publicly execute Ace in a week's time. In the conference room, Logan analyzed the situation before him. To be honest, for Ace to be caught, it was completely beyond Logan's expectation. Although Blackbeard teaches Devil Fruit can restrain Logia ability users, but Ace has practiced Fire Dragon slaying magic, this ability is not affected by Dark Fruit ability. According to common sense, facing today's Blackbeard teach, even if Ace can't completely win, he can still escape if he wants to. Logan don't know how Ace got caught. But now is obviously not the time to pursue this issue, but to help Luffy save his brother. We have to rescue Ace from Impel Down before he is sent to Marineford. Luffy was burning with anxiety, expressing his opinion. That's a good idea, it's much easier to go to Impel Down than to go to the execution ground. Frankie agreed with both hands. Brook modeled his afro. Yo ho 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 ho, I also agree with Jailbreak. Logan, what do you think? At this time, Robin looked at Logan. Compared with everyone's opinions, Robin thinks that Logan's opinions are more reliable. The others also looked at Logan. After all, in terms of decision-making, the deputy captain is obviously much more reliable than the captain. If you want to go the prison, then you don't need to. Logan shook his head, he looked at Luffy. Prison break is the worst strategy, and going the execution ground is the best strategy. Hearing this, the Straw Hat pirates all subconsciously looked at Logan. Hey, hey, hey! Logan, did you make a mistake? Is it easier to the execution ground than impel down? Frankie's eyes widened, expressing his incomprehension. Sanji also nodded, the execution ground this time is at Marineford. If we go there to the execution ground, isn't it like throwing ourselves into a trap? As one of the representatives of the Com faction, Sanji considers the issue more meticulously. Even he felt that Logan's idea was not wise. Logan, Marineford should be more difficult, right? Nami sipped the red wine, and said cautiously. It's the most difficult thing, impossible. Usopp yelled directly. Zoro pondered for a while, and said in a deep voice, if it's a prison break, then we can sneak in. But if it's the execution ground, it seems that we can only attack head-on? And the location of the execution scene is Marineford. In this case, robbing the execution ground will undoubtedly become a suicidal act. Please stay calm, everyone, let's talk about what Logan said. Robin raised his hand and pressed down, signaling everyone not to worry. Everyone is right, attacking the execution ground is indeed a difficult thing to achieve. But, this time is different. Logan crossed his hands in front of him, and continued, Sengoku placed the execution site of Ace in Marineford, not to target us, but to target the Whitebeard pirates. Target the Whitebeard pirates. Hearing this, Robin was thoughtful and seemed to understand something. Wait. You mean, the Whitebeard pirates will also be involved in the rescue of Ace? Usopp's eyes lit up, and he asked excitedly. Logan shook his head, not to participate, but they will be the main force to rescue Ace, and choose to start an all-out war with Marine. What? Hearing this, Luffy was shocked. Logan, you mean, Ace's pirate group will start a war with Marine for Ace? As much as Luffy would love for this to happen, but this is too outrageous. For just Ace, the whole pirate will go to war with Marine? Is this a bit of a joke? Sanji muttered confused, can this kind of thing really happen? Is Ace really important to that extent in Whitebeard's heart? Only more important than you think. Logan nodded, then he grabbed Luffy's hand and said seriously, this matter is very troublesome to explain, but you can trust me, the Whitebeard pirates will definitely arrive at Marineford on the day of Ace's execution, and Marine will open the fight. And we also appeared on that day. In this way, our strength plus the strength of the Whitebeard pirates can have a chance to save Ace. After all, it was Marineford. Even though Logan was already so powerful, he didn't dare to say anything outrageous. If they want to save Ace, they must rely on the power of the Whitebeard pirates. Otherwise, it is absolutely impossible to rely on these few members of the Straw Hat pirates alone. If the Whitebeard pirates can really appear on the battlefield of Marineford, then this matter will be much easier. Robin analyzed it seriously, and then looked at Logan, how sure are you about the Whitebeard pirates joining the battle? Logan is categorical, 100%. Sanji heard this, and said, in this case, then, Logan, let's follow your plan. Logan looked at Luffy, Luffy, are you listening to me? As long as I can save Ace, I'm willing to listen to anything. Luffy is weak in battle planning, but he knows that Logan is good at this kind of thing. All the way from East Blue, every time Logan's plan has been successful without exception. Therefore, he has full trust in Logan. Okay. Then I announce my plan for the next week. Logan made a decision, and then ordered, everyone will practice with all their strength this week. As for how to make us appear in Marineford on the day of the execution, leave it to me. Good. Everyone has no objections. If it is another pirate group, it must be nonsense if they say something about training with all their strength within a week. But the Straw Hat pirates are different, they can enter the mangas to practice. Just 1 week can be equivalent to several months, or even longer. Time flashed, and it was evening. Everyone has turned on the practice mode. And Going Merry, under the command of Logan, slowly sailed into the calm belt, approaching Amazon Lily. At this juncture, Logan did not come to Amazon Lily for fun. He's here to find a helping hand. If he want Going Merry to reach Marineford smoothly, he must either rely on brute force or rely on tricks. If possible, Logan of course wants to rely on tricks. Because it not only saves time and effort, but also is more secure. And the key to being able to approach Marineford smoothly is whether the woman is willing to cooperate. Chapter 182. Calm Belt, Amazon Lily. The Kuja pirate is slowly approaching the inland port. On the deck, the female fighters are counting the harvest this time. As soon as they enter the town, they will distribute the harvest to the people of Amazon Lily. But when Kuja pirate sailed into the inland waterway of Amazon Lily, the sniper Rindo suddenly shouted, "Empress, it's not good. It seems that a pirate ship is docking at our port." A pirate ship broke in. The Empress Hancock didn't hear it, but Sandersonia heard it in a doubt. Afterwards, Sandersonia walked to the front of the deck and looked towards the direction of the port. "Hey? That ship is indeed not our Amazon Lily's ship." After confirming the pirate ship in the port, Sandersonia looked carefully. They saw that on the port, the female warriors of Amazon Lily had already stood around several times densely, and their bows and arrows were all fully drawn. Enemy attack! Immediately, Sandersonia gave a loud warning without hesitation. At this time, Boa Hancock, the captain of the Kuja pirates, also appeared. "Is there someone who broke into this Empress's territory recklessly?" Walking with unrecognizable steps, Hancock tilted her head back in an exaggerated gesture. She pointed with her finger and ordered, "Go! Take down these invaders for me." Soon, the pirate ship of the Kuja pirate arrived at the port and blocked the invading pirate ship inside. "The Empress is back. It is Her Majesty who has come." "Her Majesty?" The female warriors on the port saw the pirate ship of Kuja pirate, and all of them showed expressions of relief. "What's going on? Who dare to attack?" Hancock walked to the edge of the deck, but saw several female warriors sitting on the ground in the port, apparently under attack. "Your Majesty, it's him. It was done by that man." Many female warriors pointed at the deck of another pirate ship. "And this pirate ship is naturally going merry." On the splint, Logan waved to Hancock, "Hello, I did it." Seeing Logan's calm appearance, the female fighters of the Kuja pirates couldn't believe it. "Nasty man! You injured our people, and you still greet us with this attitude? You are committing suicide. Men are absolutely not allowed to enter Amazon Lily. And for you to appear here as a man, first of all, it is already a capital offense. Irreverent man! Accept this Empress punishment." Without saying a word, Hancock attacked at Logan directly. She made a heart shape with her hands in front of her, "Marrow marrow mellow. Marrow marrow no me ability activated." Pink light waves burst out from Hancock's fingertips, like ripples on the surface of a lake, enveloping the direction of Logan. Logan stood there without moving, holding on to the railing next to him with one hand, and posing in a comfortable pose. Let the pink light waves brush over his body. Like the wind, the light wave gently lifted the hair on Logan's forehead. Refreshing. Logan shrugged his shoulders and gave a slight comment. Facing devil fruits of this kind, Logan is the least worried. The immune effect brought by the protection of the goddess of holy light to Logan is enough to make all magic-like negative buffs immune. So, not to mention marrow marrow mellow, even a sweet hurricane is useless. But this scene fell in the eyes of everyone in the Kuja pirates, but all of them had question marks on their heads instantly. He is okay. What? What's going on? Why does the Empress attack have no effect on him? Is this man not at all attracted by Her Majesty beauty? This is impossible. How can there be a man in the world who doesn't covet Her Majesty's beauty? Everyone looked at Logan in shock, as if seeing a ghost. Hancock opened her red lips in astonishment, and she was stunned for a few seconds before she opened her mouth in astonishment. Why didn't you bow down under the pomegranate skirt of this Empress? I say, Hancock, is the play finish? When the play is over, let's get down to business. Logan didn't intend to sit here and wait for them all to be shocked, but came to handle business. Impossible. As if Hancock couldn't accept this setting, she stepped on her feet immediately, and the whole person jumped up lightly towards going merry. She was in the air, and Hancock immediately kicked Logan with a super kick. The slender legs, containing the ability of marrow marrow NIME, crashed towards Logan's head. Logan remained as still as a mountain, and with a light flick of his right hand, he immediately caught Hancock's ankle. This random catch instantly locked Hancock's ankle like a shackle. Ah hey, your ankle. Thank you for the view. Logan lightly raised his hand, and immediately made Hancock have nothing to hide. You turns out to be so frivolous to this Empress. This Empress orders you to let go immediately. Hancock never expected that not only did her attack not work, but the opponent's palm was like an indestructible iron clamp, which made it impossible for her to break free once she was caught. She was forced to raise her heels, her right hand was on her hips, her left hand was pointed forward, her neck was bent backwards, and she said, "Immediately follow my orders. No matter what my orders, you will obey them." Yes. Because this queen is so beautiful. However, the next moment, Hancock didn't feel that the other party had any intention to let go of him. Suddenly she said angrily, "What are you still doing in a daze? Could it be that you didn't hear what this empress said? Are you kidding me? You attacked me and now I've caught you, and you still speak to me in this commanding tone." Logan pouted. Although Hancock is beautiful, her personality is really stinky. Logan doesn't like it very much. Logan still likes Nami's kind. Hancock said proudly, "This empress ordered you, you should be grateful. It is this empress who gave you the opportunity to obey her order." "That's right. My sister gave you the opportunity to obey her orders, you should be moved to tears. Shameless man, why don't you just have surrender? You actually grabbed the empress's leg like that, men are bold. It's really vulgar. Let go of the empress's feet, don't continue to grab the empress's ankle with your dirty hands. Shameless man. Woman, don't be so self-righteous. I don't like a woman with a bad personality like you at all." As he spoke, Logan swung his right hand vigorously, throwing Hancock's heel away. Hancock suddenly found such a force and threw it out, and was immediately turned half a circle by the rotation force of his own leg under the action of inertia. "Hey!" Looking at Hancock's back, Logan's heart skipped a beat. Originally, he just wanted to throw Hancock out, but now seeing such a position and distance, his hands were itchy. "No matter. Don't you think that men all over the world are your simp?" Immediately, Logan raised his hand and threw it out with a palm. At this time, Hancock was thrown with his back facing Logan, and he staggered forward and bent over. "Damn bastard, dare he be so rude to this empress? This empress will turn him into stone." Immediately, Hancock steadied herself. But just when she was about to stand upright, she heard a crisp sound. "This voice," etc. Almost at the same time, Hancock felt a burst of pain. Ugh! Tears of pain burst from Hancock's eyes almost uncontrollably. Chapter 183. Hiss. Whether it's the female warriors on the deck of Kuja Pirate, or the female warriors on the port. At this time, all of them stared fiercely and opened their mouths wide. Each mouth can even fit a big radish. We saw, what? Unexpectedly, someone actually gave Empress a spank? Really? Is there such a ruthless idiot in this world? That is the most beautiful woman in the world. Hancock's eyes were full of horror and disbelief. She covered the sore spot, moved her steps and turned her head, stared at Logan with wide eyes, and said tremblingly at the corner of her mouth, You actually hit me. Why? You can hit me, but I can't hit you." Logan spread his hands, showing no sign of guilt. The Empress is completely fascinated. She was furious. "Are you a man? You asked this, how about I prove it to you now?" As he said that, Logan immediately grabbed his trouser waist and pulled it down. "Ah!" The female soldiers all exclaimed in unison. But the next moment, only then did everyone realize that Logan was just pretending to do an action. "Ah, what an unreasonable stinky man!" Hancock rubbed her forehead, and there was a gloomy air stuck in her mouth. "Anyway, stinky man, you have touched the bottom line of Amazon Lily. And you have injured my people on Amazon Lily, I definitely can't let you go." While Hancock was speaking, her eyes fell on the disgraced female warriors on the port. Although they didn't seem to be seriously injured, they must have been dealt with by Logan. Logan took out a piece of chewing gum from his pocket, tore open the package, and put it in his mouth. "You can't blame me for this. I told them as soon as I came, saying that I came to talk to you about something. They shot at me indiscriminately. I just taught them a little lesson, which is already very face-saving." Hancock could tell that those female warriors had indeed only been taught a little lesson. Otherwise, with Logan's strength, it would be easy to kill them. "You said you came to talk to this Empress? But this Empress doesn't want to talk to this stinky man." Having been refuted by Logan just now, of course Hancock will not follow Logan at this time. That's not necessarily the case. "I'll let you see the person first. Then you can consider whether you want to talk to me." Logan didn't have Cook to argue about anything, but opened the lid of the big wooden barrel beside him. He stretched out his hand to grab it in the wooden barrel, and picked it up again. A fat guy with big ears was just picked out of the big wooden barrel by Logan. Boom! Logan threw this guy casually, throwing him on the deck like a dead pig. Another stinky man. Looking at the guy with a swollen face, Hancock looked disgusted. No, 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 take a closer look at this guy. He is not an ordinary person. Logan smiled, grabbed Charlos by the hair, and lifted him up. Hancock looked at it for a while, and then said disdainfully, "Isn't he just an ugly, smelly man? What's the difference?" Hey hey! Hearing this, Logan was stunned. But then, he suddenly figured it out. He can recognize Saint Charlos at a glance, that's because of his past life. And people in this world, not many people have seen Tenryuabito. Even if you have seen a Tenryuabito, if they don't wear an air mask on the head of the Tenryuabito, it is difficult to recognize it. Just like Kizaru before, even as Admiral, didn't he not recognize Charlos? Then Hancock did not recognize it, and it is indeed reasonable. Okay. Let me introduce this pig. Shrugging his shoulders, Logan then pointed to the head of Saint Charlos. This guy's name is Saint Charlos, from the Holy Land of Marie Joyce. As for his identity, I think Hancock should have understand. Ah! When Logan introduced the identity of Charlos, all the female warriors around screamed in horror. God, Tenryuabito! Hey hey hey! You must be joking, right? Don't make such a joke. In this world, even a Cheel knows that you must never offend the Tenryuabito. What's more, how can you treat the Tenryuabito like this? This must be fake. The female soldiers all yelled in horror. However, the faces of the three Hancock sisters changed in a different way. Tenryuabito. That is the indelible devil deep in the hearts of the three sisters. When hearing the identity of the Tenryuabito, the three sisters' face turned pale from conditioned reflex. And when Hancock looked at Charlos again, she was almost sure that this guy was a Tenryuabito. No way, as an existence who has stayed in the Holy Land for several years, Hancock still has a certain understanding of identifying Tenryuabito. She just didn't think about the identity of Tenryuabito just now, but after being told by Logan about the identity of Saint Charlos, Hancock looked at Saint Charlos again. Saint Charlos' identity. Definitely a Tenryuabito. You, what are you doing? Hancock subconsciously took 2 steps back. She was once enslaved by the Tenryuabito, and she didn't want to mention that kind of thing again in her life. Moreover, although Hancock hated the Tenryuabito, she still did not dare to offend the Tenryuabito. Seeing Logan bring a Tenryuabito in front of her, Hancock's first thought was not revenge, but fear. She is afraid of getting burned. Snapped. Logan went up and gave Charlos a big ear melon seed, and slapped him, terrified and lying on the ground. What are you afraid of? Although he is a Tenryuabito, he only has 2 eyes and 1 mouth, nothing more than us. Now I beat him like a dog. Logan kicked Charlos in front of Hancock, and then said, "Do you want to have fun?" But Hancock stepped back in horror. Ah! Don't let him get close to me. I originally thought that an invincible woman like Empress Hancock would be different. I didn't expect that she was as afraid of Tenryuabito as those cowardly commoners. Logan chuckled, and said coldly, "Listen, cowardly people. In this world, no one is more special than anyone else. The only difference there is in this world is strength." What a disappointment! Shaking his head heavily, Logan stretched out his hand and pointed at Kuja Pirate, "Go back to your own ship, I'm leaving." Hancock's psychology seemed to be caught by the door. That kind of discomfort. It's not the pain of being bullied or beaten by others. It's an uncomfortable feeling of being looked down upon but unable to refute. Yet, the only difference in this world is strength. The man in front of her can beat Tenryuabito without fear. And doesn't she even have the courage to face the Tenryuabito? She raised her head slowly, and said with mixed feelings in her heart, "Can you tell me, what exactly do you want to do?" Logan curled her lips, "Cowardly woman. It's okay to tell you. Listen, what I want to do is, broadcast the execution of Tenryuabito to the whole world." Click. Hancock was completely stunned. Broadcast the execution of Tenryuabito to the whole world. This man must have courage to face the wrath of the world government and Marine at the same time. God! In this world, is there really such a brave person? Chapter 184. Yes. The reason why Logan keeps Charlos as a captive is that he intends to live broadcast the execution of the Tenryuabito in front of the whole world. Don't you, Marine, want to have the broadcast of executing the Pirate King bloodline all over the world? Don't you want to completely cut off the blood of evil? Then Logan will do this world live broadcast at that time to let everyone understand one thing. Even the Tenryuabito who look like gods in people's eyes can be executed. When hearing what Logan said, Hancock pondered for a moment, then shouted out. She pursed her red lips lightly, and asked slowly, "You said you were going to live broadcast the execution of Tenryuabito in front of the whole world, so where do you plan to execute it?" Logan said lightly, "Marine Ford." _W. When she heard Logan mentioning this matter just now, Hancock had a guess in his heart, and now hearing Logan confirming it personally, Hancock can no longer hold back. Not long ago, she had received a notice from Marine Ford that Marine was going to perform a public execution on Fire Fist Ace in Marine Ford in a week. As the 7 warlords of the sea, she was also ordered to gather at Marine Ford a week later to deal with the possible Whitebeard pirate group. But now, this guy in front of me keeps saying that he will carry out a public execution of the Tenryuabito in Marine Ford. Such an outrageous thing. If it was normal, Hancock would definitely laugh without hesitation. But facing Logan at this time, Hancock looked at those firm eyes like stars, but she couldn't raise any doubts. There is a feeling somewhere. This man in front of her will really do what he says. But what I don't understand is, why do you dare to say such arrogant words? That is Marine Ford. It is very difficult to get there. Sengoku and Marine will not just watch you take the Tenryuabito there and execute him in front of them. Although Hancock vaguely feels that the man in front of him is very determined, but the problem facing the reality is very real. Logan smiled. "I believe you have also received the notice from Marine Ford?" A week later, Marine Ford and the Whitebeard pirates will have to a full-scale battle, and my crewmates and I will appear on the scene at that time. Hearing this, Hancock frowned slightly. "How can you be sure that the Whitebeard pirates will dare to come?" Ha ha ha. Hearing Hancock's question, Logan burst out laughing. Hancock frowned. "What are you laughing at?" "I just said, you are a cowardly woman." Logan shook his head slightly, then walked towards the edge of the railing, looking at the beautiful scenery of Amazon Lily. How can a cowardly woman understand the courage of the strongest man in the world? Shut up! Don't humiliate the Empress. Snake Princess dignity is up to us to protect. If you dare to be disrespectful the Empress, we will fight you. The female fighters of the Kuja pirates looked at Logan with righteous indignation, as if they wanted to strip him alive. "It's not insulting at all, I'm just stating a fact. You women, how can you understand what the name Whitebeard stands for?" Speaking of this, Logan turned his head to look at Hancock. "Whitebeard will go in a week. And my crewmates and I will also bring the Tenryuabito to that execution ground." Listening to Logan's decisive words, Hancock's heart skipped a beat. He obviously doesn't know Whitebeard well. Does he trust Whitebeard that much? Wrong. He, like Whitebeard, is crazy. Thinking of this, Hancock murmured in his heart, "Since you have already decided to go, why do you still come to me? What do you want to talk to me?" "Because I don't want to waste too much energy on getting close to Marine Ford. So, what I want is for you to help me and my crewmates easily enter Marine Ford. In this way, we can put all our energy into fighting Marine." Logan explained. Of course, the most important thing is, if they mix in with Hancock, Marine's main attention will be on the Whitebeard pirates. But at this moment, Hancock shook his head. "Then your wishful thinking has been miscalculated. This time, this Empress has no plan to go to Marine Ford at all. No. You will go." Logan didn't argue, and said in a positive tone. Hancock frowned. Hancock was very displeased with Logan's attitude of controlling everything. She sneered, "It's a joke. Can this Empress not know whether she will go or not?" Logan said resolutely, "If you don't go, Marine will threaten you with the lives of the female warriors on Amazon Lily, so you have to go." Hancock looked speechless. She only needs to think a little bit, and she can figure out that things will definitely develop as Logan said. At that time, she still has to go. After thinking for a while, Hancock said in a deep voice, "But even if I go, I will definitely go by myself. You and your crewmates are many, there is no way for me to bring you in. It's not a big problem." Logan smiled, and then flipped his palms. communicating the magic power of the small cards of Clow. She saw that the huge Going Merry pirate ship turned into a very miniature ship at this moment. Logan held Going Merry in his hand, then looked at Hancock. Now, is it all right? Ah, this. The eyes of everyone in the Kuja pirates suddenly widened. Oh my god! Is this a devil fruit's ability? You can actually make a pirate ship so small. If it is used to launch a surprise attack, it is impossible to defend against. It's actually possible to do this. Hancock opened his mouth, then asked again, what about you? Logan replied, I can also become smaller. At that time, I will take the pirate ship, you put me in your pocket and bring me into Marineford, and then find a corner and throw me there. If that's the case, then I will agree to your request. Although he was spanked by Logan just now, when he thought of what Logan was about to do, Hancock immediately didn't care. He planned to become an enemy of the world, but she just got spanked in the ass, so why bother? Okay. It seems that you are not completely cowardly. Nodding his head, Logan then said, I will dock the ship to the forest side of Amazon Lily, and I will come to you again when Marineford came to pick you up. As he said that, Logan stepped on his feet. Holding the Going Merry, he instantly soared into the air and disappeared in front of everyone's eyes. Chapter 185. Time flies, and a week has passed. Going Merry. In the manga studio, Logan checked the system mail. Your manga fan Monkey D. Luffy has improved his world strength in the manga Akame ga Kill, and the development of the fruit has reached Gear 5. You simultaneously obtain the Gear 5 ability of its fruit. You get points plus 10. Your fan Kobe has improved his world strength in the manga Demon Slayer, Zenitsu, and learned the Breath of Thunder, 4th form, and Distant Thunder. You simultaneously gain its Thunder Breathing ability. You get points plus 6. Your manga fan Nami conquered the Wind card in the world of Manga Card Captor Sakura. You get the Wind card ability simultaneously. You get points plus 5. Your manga Roronoa Zoro has improved his world power in the manga Zaraki Kenpeki biography and master his Bankai ability. You get points plus 10. Your manga fan Usopp has cultivated the ability of the god-killing star Shikai Black Coffin Star in the world of the manga Bleach, Uratsu Nimeya. You simultaneously get the god-killing star Shikai ability Black Coffin Star. You get points plus 8. Your fan Sanji trained the 7th gate of 8 inner gates in the manga book Might Guy biography, and successfully opened the 7th gate. You simultaneously acquire the 7th gate ability. You get points plus 7. Your fan Nico Robin has improved his world power in the manga Uzumaki Naruto biography and practiced A-level ninjutsu Raise Nan. You get A-level ninjutsu Raise Nan at the same time. You get points plus 4. Your manga fan Nico Robin has improved his world power in the manga Uzumaki Naruto biography and practiced A-level ninjutsu Wind Blade, and you simultaneously obtained A-level ninjutsu Wind Blade. You get points plus 4. Your manga fan Chopper developed the Alresca Glacis Rumble Ball in the world of the manga Strike the Bluke. You simultaneously acquire the Alresca Glacis Rumble Ball. You earn points plus 3. Your manga fan Frankie has improved his world strength in the manga Genos biography, and he has gained an incinerator. You get the incinerator simultaneously. You get plus 4 points. Your fan Brook has improved his strength in the world of the manga Ghost Rider, and gain the Hellfire Chain technique. You gain Hellfire Chain simultaneously. You get plus 5 points. Your fan Keiya has improved his strength in the world of the manga Tsunade biography and practiced Healing Jutsu. You get Healing Jutsu simultaneously. You get plus 1 points. Good guy. Just as Logan expected, the harvest this time is quite rich. After accumulating system emails for a week, almost everyone has improved a lot. Luffy's fruit ability finally hits 5th gear before Summit War. Don't underestimate this little progress. There is a world of difference between the Luffy in 5th gear and the Luffy before 5th gear. Zoro's Wado sword completed Bankai. In this regard, Logan can't get anything. In addition, this time, Keiya also practiced medical ninjutsu by reading Tsunade biography. She, who is not good at fighting, finally has a place to use her skills. Amazon Lily. Logan came here with Going Merry in hand. On the deck of Kuja Pirate, Hancock has been waiting here for a long time. Looking at the figure of Logan falling on the deck, Hancock looked arrogant. I thought you were not going to came. Ignoring this sentence, Logan looked around and said, has Marine's warship come yet? Seeing that Logan still had no intention of licking her, Hancock curled his lips. They have called just now, and it should arrive soon. Now you can get smaller. Good. Logan put the going merry into his pocket, and then communicated the magic power of the small card. His figure quickly became the size of a palm. Logan jumped lightly and landed in Hancock's flat palm. Oni-sama. A warship is coming. At this moment, Sander Sonia suddenly pointed to the sea level in the distance and said, "These bastards!" Seeing the warship, Hancock gritted his teeth. Just 3 days ago, the Marine warship came. As Logan expected, when Hancock refused, Marine Vice Admiral Mangaka reminded Hancock with a buster call and threatened to attack Amazon Lily. Hancock had to compromise. "All right, didn't you tell me that I have to go? Then I will bring you a big surprise." Glancing at Logan in her hand, Hancock murmured, and then stuffed Logan directly into her clothes. Logan only felt refreshing for a while, and was immediately stunned. "FK. Where's the pocket?" Then he suddenly realized that Hancock is wearing a dress. She has no pockets. Worry. This buoyancy is quite sudden. When the warship approached, Vice Admiral Mangaka stood in front of the deck and said in a deep voice, "Let's go." Hancock stepped onto the bridge with slender legs. With every step she took, the Marine soldiers on the deck all grinned at the corners of their mouths. Logan looked at the situation outside from the seam of her clothes, and couldn't help but find it interesting. It is the first time to see the world from here. After the warship arrived at Marine Ford, Hancock, one of the 7 warlords of the sea, was arranged to live alone. However, because of the state of combat readiness, Hancock's residence is not big, just a separate dormitory for female officers. On the second day, Hancock, led by a Marine female soldier, joined the 4 remaining 7 warlords of the sea, and then came to the battle platform of Marine Ford. Why 4 people? Because Crocodile is in jail. Jinbei was also imprisoned in the Impel Down because he was unwilling to fight against Whitebeard. Then there's Gecko Moria, who got punched by Luffy not long ago, and Marine lost contact with him. And now, 7 warlords of the sea is down to 4 people. My hawk. Heavenly Yaksha Doflamingo. Tyrant Bartholomew Kuma. Empress Hancock. When the 4 of them came to the battle platform, Doflamingo walked with unrecognizable steps, shaking his head and looking around. But when his eyes swept over the execution platform, he staggered and almost fell to the ground. Phew. Isn't it? What kind of treatment is this? He looked at Ace on the execution platform and couldn't stop laughing. My hawk followed Doflamingo's gaze, and suddenly 3 black lines appeared on his forehead. Bartholomew Kuma didn't turn his head, like a war machine without any emotion. Hancock looked up, and immediately sprayed. She was surprised. What is this? On the execution platform as far as they could see, Ace was ready to be charged here at this time. But the problem is, normally, the prisoner should be escorted to kneel on the execution platform. But at this time, Ace was sitting in an open chariot chair. 2 Marine soldiers were carrying the chariot chair, walking back and forth non-stop. Ace in the chariot chair is locked by sea stone shackles, with a look of sickness. Logan looked out of Hancock's heart, saw Ace's scene, and was speechless. Others didn't know what was going on, but Logan guessed it all at once. The chariot chair is a means of transportation, used to limit the magic of the fire dragon. And sea stone is limited to Maramara fruit. If the 2 are combined, Ace's ability will be completely blocked. When the 7 warlords of the sea arrived at the designated location, another Marine soldier moved 3 chairs directly under the execution platform. Soon, Marine 3 Admiral came from the aisle and sat on 3 chairs respectively. These bastards, don't even talk about getting us some chairs, fur. Doflamingo rubbed his chin, dissatisfied in his tone. This empress doesn't need it. Under Hancock's body, the boa constrictor Salome coiled up into a lump, which happened to serve as a chair for Hancock. Ah, what a convenient little pet. Doflamingo curled his lips, then moved his fingers. They saw a Marine soldier walking past him, as if being led by a string, and walked backwards. He walked behind Doflamingo with a terrified expression and lay down on the ground. This chair is nice, fur. Doflamingo sat on the Marine soldier's back. At this moment, on the scaffold above, Sengoku stepped out. Holding a radio den mushi, he announced loudly, "This matter is to be announced to everyone. It is related to the great significance of Porgas D. Ace's execution today." Hearing Sengoku suddenly and inexplicably said such a sentence, Everyone was a little confused. Those who were watching the live broadcast in front of the big screens of various island news agencies were even more stunned. What's the situation? Fire Fist Ace will be executed, isn't it because he is the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates? Yeah, what's the big deal? Does his death piss off Whitebeard? Are you guys stupid? Can't you just listen to Sengoku go on? I just said that this matter is definitely not as simple as it seems. The execution of Ace in Marineford, in a live broadcast around the world, there must be some secret here. Sengoku's words immediately ignited the interest of all the people who watch. Ace. Say your father's name. Sengoku's voice spread throughout Marineford through the broadcast system, and spread throughout the live broadcast venues on various islands. Father? Even the marine soldiers who were at the scene in Marineford couldn't help complaining. But Ace didn't seem to think there was anything wrong with this question, and he answered directly, my father is Whitebeard. Wrong. Sengoku interrupted Ace immediately. But Ace suddenly changed his face, realized something, and was furious. No. My father can only be Whitebeard. However, Sengoku continued on his own, according to the information collected by the world government, we finally found out your real identity. In South Blue, there is an island called Batrilla. There, a woman named Porghast Rogue who gave birth to you. 1 year and 3 months after your father's death, the child who inherited the world's most evil blood was born. That is you. It's impossible for you not to know, your father. Speaking of this, Sengoku's face suddenly became extremely angry, and he shouted hoarsely at the radio, Den Den Mushi, Porghast A's father is the Pirate King Gold Roger. Chapter 186. What? When Sengoku called out the man's name, the whole world froze for a moment. The commander of the 2nd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates turned out to be the son of Gold Roger the Pirate King? Anyone who utters such outrageous words will be laughed at as a fool. But the one who said this is the Fleet Admiral of Marineford. Then it must be true. It turned out to be Roger's son. That man's son is still alive. This is really big news. His biological son survived, that's a miracle. Whether it's the people at Marineford, or the melon eaters in front of the big screens, their brains are buzzing at this time. Sengoku continued. About 2 years ago, when we found that he sailed across the sea as the captain of the Spades Pirates, we realized that Roger's bloodline has not been cut off. However, Whitebeard, who discovered this at the same time as us, did not hesitate to bring the son of his former rival to his ship in order to train him to become the next generation Pirate King. Hearing this, Ace immediately retorted angrily, that's not true. I boarded the Moby Dick to make Pop the Pirate King. I'm afraid you're the only one who thinks so. In fact, the reason why we haven't dared to act rashly is because Whitebeard protects you. But if you keep your training, your talent will eventually help you stand at the pinnacle of the next era of pirates. So, taking your head here today means a lot. Even if it turns into an all-out war with the Whitebeard Pirates. Sengoku's statement sets the tone for the situation at hand. That is, today you Ace must die. Fleet Admiral. Report. Below the execution platform, a marine officer saluted Sengoku, the gate of justice was opened without anyone's order. And the control room can't be contacted. What? Sengoku frowned, showing a bad look. Directly above the sea, the huge gate slowly separated to both sides under the force of the tide. When the 2 doors were completely opened, densely packed pirate warships quietly appeared on the sea surface. It's the large fleet of the Whitebeard Pirates. Wild Knight Doma. Thunder Lord Magui. The DeKalvin Brother. Vortex Spider Squad. A terrifying group, all of them captain who have made a name for themselves in the New World. Where is Whitebeard? Quickly check the location. A total of 43 large pirate ships. Only Whitebeard and the division commander are missing. Damn! Where did they come from? Sengoku's face changed slightly, and he frowned and ordered loudly, all Marines, enter the battle state. Fleet Admiral, should we attack? The orderly asked nervously. Sengoku shook his head sternly, wait a minute. Whitebeard must be nearby. He must have something to do with this, keep a close watch on the sea for me. Phew fur fur. So much fun. Doflamingo looked ahead excitedly and grinned, I can't hold back. Come on, Whitebeard. If it was normal, even if Doflamingo was killed, he would not dare to say such arrogant words. But today is different. With the entire Marineford in the background, Doflamingo is ready to witness the fall of the four emperors. Gilyalu. At this moment, in the crescent harbor of Marineford, a large number of bubbles suddenly surged on the water surface. Under the high platform, Marine and Admiral's eyes narrowed almost at the same time, and they cast their eyes on the water surface in the bay. It really came out of an unexpected place. Garp raised his brows and looked at the water in surprise. Shadows appear beneath the surface of the water in the bay. It turns out that it is like this, all their ships are coated. Just as Marine was exclaiming, a ship directly smashed open the sea water. Wow! A huge pirate ship shaped like a white whale rushed out from under the sea. It's appeared. It's the flagship of the Whitebeard pirates Moby Dick. Immediately afterwards, on the sea surface around the Moby Dick, the sea broke through again, and 3 other frigates broke through the water. These 3 frigates have almost the same shape as the Moby Dick, only a few circles smaller. On the whale's mouth on the bow of the Moby Dick, Whitebeard stands there with his commanding figure. Holding the Naginata Murakumagari in one hand, the corner of his mouth slightly raised a confident arc, and he looked at Sengoku, Gururara. Sengoku, I haven't seen you in decades. Afterwards, Whitebeard looked at Ace on the execution platform, and was taken aback. What kind of mistreatment is this? He said in a deep voice, my beloved son, are you okay? Pop. Even though Ace felt sick from being shaken by the chariot chair, he still yelled hysterically the moment he saw Whitebeard. Ace. Just be patient for a while. Looking at the pale Ace, Whitebeard put the Murakumagari in his hand on the ground, and then clenched his hands into fists. He bent down slightly, crossed his arms in front of him, and then swung to the side suddenly. Crack crack! They saw that in the atmosphere, cracks suddenly appeared one after another, like spider webs, densely covered out of thin air. What? The atmosphere is cracked. Hey hey hey! What's the matter with that explosion sound? It's not good. The movement of the sea is not right. Rumble. As Whitebeard swung his fists down, the sea surface on the left and right sides of Marineford seemed to be a prehistoric beast suddenly awakened, and the terrifying sea water instantly rose and bulged upwards. A sea water bulge and a tsunami was formed. And this tsunami keeps going up. Just watched this scene, Ace was heartbroken. He yelled hoarsely, Pop! Everyone! Obviously I ignored everyone's advice and ran out by myself. It was my own actions that brought me to this end, why don't you let me fend for myself? Seeing so many comrades marching to Marineford for rescue, Ace's heart is touched and warm. But he is not a fool, he knows that so many crewmates here today, a large part will die in this sea forever. If possible, he would never want to see these people die to save him. Wrong. But at this moment, Whitebeard said calmly, Son, you didn't act on your own, I told you to go. Ace yelled, Don't lie. You were trying to stop me. No, I told you to go. Whitebeard's voice was still calm, he turned his head to look at Marco beside him, and asked, I remember right, Marco? Oh yes. I heard that too. Marco clasped his arms and raised the corner of his mouth lightly, looking at Ace, Ace, you have suffered a lot. He went on to say, everyone in this sea knows. What will happen to when they cross the Whitebeard pirate? No one who hurt you will live, Ace. You wait, we will save you by ourselves. Brother Ace, we are here, we will definitely take you away. Marineford, die. A series of sonorous and powerful voices came from the Moby Dick. That's the manifesto of the Whitebeard pirates. That's a manifesto to fight for the family. At this moment, Logan, who was in Hancock's boobs, looked at this scene, and suddenly the pores of his whole body opened up, and his blood boiled. This kind of Whitebeard's attitude that he personally felt when he read this scene in his previous life. An hacky feeling from the strongest of 4 emperors. That's something you can't feel just by watching manga and anime. Boom! The tsunami on both sides soared into the sky, forming 2 seawater canopies, which crashed down towards Marineford. War. Here we go. Chapter 187. It's a tsunami. What kind of power is this? What a monster! Fur. It's over. The entire Marineford was shocked in the face of this force of nature, which is almost irresistible to human beings. Sengoku suddenly shouted. Trouble! Rubbing his head, Aokiji drove away the lazy expression on his face, then he stepped on his feet and appeared in the sky instantly. His hands pointed towards the tsunami on both sides. Ice Age. Dash. The biting cold air spewed out towards both sides crazily. Ka 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 ka. Accompanied by a clear and audible freezing sound, the monstrous tsunami suddenly stopped and turned into two icebergs towering high in the sky. Aokiji, you boy. The corners of his mouth grinned slightly, and Whitebeard showed his displeasure. Although he also knew that Marineford could not be wiped out at once, but he was still very upset to see the tsunami ice spear. The moment he fell from the sky, Aokiji condensed two ice spears out of thin air and shot at Whitebeard. Whitebeard punched in the air and shattered the atmosphere with a bang. Even the two ice spears that hadn't flown to the front were shattered together. The ship is frozen. The bay is also full of ice. Hey, hey! The sea seems to have a foothold now. Ha ha ha! Come on! Seeing the situation in the harbor, the pirates immediately jumped off the deck one by one and rushed forward. Quick! Destroy the Moby Dick! The commander are showing up too. Don't stop the attacking! One order after another was issued continuously, and the marine side also responded with war materials. The two sides will soon fight it out. Kang Lang. Below the high platform, Dracul Mihawk drew out the black sword Yora behind him. Phew fur fur. What? Are you going to do it? Feeling the leak of haki from the man beside him, Doflamingo smiled arrogantly. I just want to measure the real gap between the strongest man and I. The moment the voice fell, Yora swished out. Boom! The moment it appeared, the surrounding air and ground exploded instantly. Whoosh! The sword energy is like a flying shadow that kills people, and it flew out of the air in an instant. Wherever it passes along the way, all ice surfaces will explode. But just when this sword energy was about to approach Whitebeard, a burly figure suddenly jumped down. It's the commander of the 3rd Division Diamond Yozu. In front of the big screen, someone exclaimed. After all, for many ordinary people, they don't necessarily know these celebrities. At this time, some well-informed people exclaimed from time to time, allowing these people who watch to understand the scene. Yozu landed on the ice, his whole body shining with the luster of diamonds. At the same time, the armed color covered the surface of the diamond. Double defense. Boom! The sword energy hit him in an instant, setting off a shocking explosion. The moment the first explosion exploded, two terrible bangs erupted immediately afterwards. Originally there was only one sword slash, but when it hit Yozu, it turned into three inexplicably. Yozu blocked one, but failed to defend the other two. With a bang, his burly figure was sent flying, and then fell heavily on the deck of the Moby Dick. Yozu! The two commander hurried up to check Yozu's injuries. What the hell? In Hancock's chest, Logan watched this scene with a dazed expression. Didn't Yozu be able to block Mihawk's slash? What happened? Oh! Doflamingo on the side opened his mouth wide and exclaimed, as expected of you. The commander of the 3rd Division of the Whitebeard Pirates can't even block your slash across half of the bay. Too strong. One must know that the farther the slash travels, the more its power will dissipate. It is an extremely exaggerated phenomenon in itself to slash the sword energy so far away like Mihawk. Because for ordinary great swordsmen, their sword energy slashing waves simply cannot fly such a long distance. But Mihawk's sword slashing wave not only flies so far, but also has such terrifying power. I'm ashamed, that attack just now. I used someone else's attack move. Shaking his head slightly, there was an incomprehensible light in his eagle eyes. And at this time, in the sky, suddenly golden light filled the sky. A large amount of golden light condensed directly above the Moby Dick. A human figure appeared in the golden light, it was Marine Admiral Kizaru. The Kizaru made a gesture with both hands, and a lot of golden light condensed on it. Yasakani no Megatama. With Kizaru swaying his hands, golden beams of light rained down. Yell! On the deck of the Moby Dick, a blue flame soared into the sky. Facing the laser beam directly, it turned into a flame-round shield made of blue fire. Whoosh whoosh whoosh! When those laser beams hit the blue flame-round shield, they disappeared like entering the sea. I can't let you hit us all at once. Among the blue fire, Marco's figure appeared. Oh! It's so scary, Whitebeard pirates! Kizaru also appeared in the golden light, showing a beating expression. Below, the pirates are aggressively attacking, and the marines are also fully engaged. Hancock, the 7 warlords of the sea, finally met the enemy. Hancock, just throw us on the battlefield. Logan shouted in Hancock's heart. Shall we start? Hearing this, Hancock couldn't help but feel his heart skip a beat. Killing the Tenryu Obito live. Once this kind of drama starts, everything that happened today will be eclipsed. Immediately, she reached into her chest and grabbed Logan. Perfume femur. When Hancock smashed a pirate with one blow, he instantly threw Logan out. The moment Logan fell to the ground, Logan immediately returned to its original size. He quickly found a position, and then removed the magic of the small card on Going Merry. After all, he didn't want the Going Merry to be harmed in this battle. Wow! Going Merry turned into a normal size. What's going on? Another pirate ship has appeared. The Marine on the scene suddenly exclaimed. Ah, hello! What happened to that pirate ship? Why did it appear suddenly? It seems to have appeared out of thin air. Is it a helper invited by the Whitebeard pirates? The people who were eating melons in front of the big screen were all stunned. However, when Ace saw the pirate flag of this pirate ship, the whole person was dumbfounded. He saw at a glance that this pirate flag was officially the pirate flag of his younger brother's pirate group. How can he be here? He did not only worry Pop and the others, but also worry his younger brother. I'm such a useless big brother. Tears of regret overflowed from Ace's eyes. Pop, there seems to be something wrong. On the deck of the Moby Dick, Vista said calmly. The Whitebeard smiled. Gururera, don't worry about them. Vista wondered, don't worry about it. We are still not sure if they are friends or foes. Whitebeard laughed again, certainly not the enemy. Otherwise, they wouldn't have appeared in this way. And this time, a voice suddenly jumped to the top of Going Merry's mast. He is wearing a small vest, shorts, and big slippers. He also wears a straw hat on top of his head. Puff! In front of the big screen, the supernovas who were watching this scene all sprayed out their drink. FK! Isn't this the guy with the highest bounty in the current supernova? Why are we both supernovas? We can only watch the live broadcast here, while others appear in the live broadcast. That's Marine Ford. That's total war on Marine and Whitebeard pirates. What a bunch of lunatics. On the mast, Luffy clenched his fists and shouted to the sky, Ace, I'm here to save you. The sound is like thunder in the clear sky. Instantly caused the entire Marine Ford to stagnate for a short time. Luffy. Ace burst into tears and roared loudly. He knew that what he said at this time was useless, the only thing he could do was to cry out for his incompetence. When seeing this face clearly, Sengoku was furious. He turned his head, looked at Garp under the execution platform, and said angrily, Bastard Garp. That's your good grandson. Garp's old face is flushed of embarrassment. Chapter 188. That kid is Ace's younger brother. Looking at the situation in front of him, Marco immediately guessed Luffy's identity. He heard from Ace before that he has a younger brother. In this situation, who else but his brother would rush to Marineford to save Ace? The kid wearing the straw hat, he is Ace's brother. Vista also analyzed. I didn't expect that Ace's younger brother to be so brave. Sure enough, with such a big brother, how could the little brother be an ordinary person? The two brothers really have the same energy. The members of the Whitebeard pirates shouted excitedly. Gururera. Whitebeard smiled happily too. Garp. Look what you've done. Sengoku looked at Garp and shouted angrily. Garp pretended not to hear. What did he do? He have worked very hard to train him into the marine, but he wants to be a pirate himself, don't blame this on me. Hey hey hey. Here come some amazing guys. Aokiji touched his head, and the expression on his face was a bit uncomfortable. Having fought against the Straw Hat pirates on Long Island before, Aokiji knows that these people are not ordinary rookie pirate. Many people failed to show their real strength that day, but even so, Robin defeated him, the Marine Admiral, in name. Woo, yes. Kizaru's eyes widened, and he frowned as he watched the figures appearing on the deck of Going Merry. In the Sabayati Archipelago battle, he still remembers Logan and Zoro. That's an existence that even Marine Admiral can't do anything about. What are you two doing? It's just a group of rookie pirates who just went out to sea. What are you worried about, you guys? What nonsense are you talking about? Hearing the exclamation words of Aokiji and Kizaru, Sakazuki frowned suddenly, his face was full of disdain. Not to mention that he has never fought against the Straw Hat pirates, even if he had, he would not be afraid of pirates. Ace, I'm here to save you. Luffy yelled, jumped off the mast with a whoosh, and headed straight for the execution platform. Stop him! Don't let him near the execution platform! Marine Vice Admiral Mangaka snorted coldly, pointed at the longsword in his hand, and then rushed forward first. Wind slash! Holding a sharp longsword in his hand, with the black armament haki covering the blade, Mangaka took a step forward and slashed horizontally. Stay out of the way, I'm going to save Ace. Facing Mangaka's slash, Luffy not only did not avoid it, but threw a punch in front of it. The moment the fist goes out, it is magnified dozens of times in an instant. Gomu Gomu no elephant gun. Under Luffy's sprint, the strength of this punch is above the third gear. And with the high-level armament haki entanglement, the power of this punch is far more terrifying than previous third gear. Under the lock of the advanced observation haki, Mangaka's attack trajectory was clearly seen by Luffy. Boom! Accompanied by a huge roar, Vice Admiral Mangaka didn't even have time to see what happened. He seemed to be hit by a speeding train, and flew back with a bang. Boom! Below the execution platform, the reinforced concrete battle platform was smashed out of a human-shaped crater in an instant. What? One punch! That's Vice Admiral Mangaka. Even among Vice Admirals, the strength of Vice Admiral Mangaka definitely belongs to the upper rank. Are you kidding? Is this guy so strong? Kizaru's eyes were filled with surprise, and he shook his head. Damn! Is that guy Garp's grandson? Isn't that the son of a dragon? Sakazuki's eyes glowed blue, and he was furious. Just in time, today I can get rid of two evil bloodline. Aokiji, who was not far away, opened his mouth in shock. Sabayati Archipelago. Is that the number 1 supernova? It's too strong. Wow! One punch to take out a veteran Vice Admiral. What an exaggeration! As a supernova, why do I feel that his strength is not on the same level as mine? With such a strong supernova joining the battle, this is a good show. The Melon Eaters were all shocked by Luffy's strength. Crewmates of the Straw Hat Pirates, escort the captain. Logan appeared at the front of the deck, stepped on the railing with one foot, and pointed forward with his hand, quite a kind of high-spirited pointing gesture. Logan, are you guys here too? Ace gritted his teeth, feeling deeply powerless. Originally thought that Luffy's appearance was only due to his own willfulness, but he didn't expect the entire Straw Hat Pirates to come. For the first time, Ace has expectations for his younger brother to become the Pirate King. Ace, long time no see! Logan shouted loudly. Logan! I already asked you to take care of my idiot brother. Now I have to involve you to save me. I am really sorry. Even though he felt dizzy and nauseous after being in the chariot chair, Ace still forcibly knocked his head on the floor of the chariot chair at this time. He is ashamed to have involved so many people. If you want to repay me, wait until you are saved. Now, Ace, cheer me up. The people who appear here today all here to save you. Don't let what they have done for you be in vain. As he said that, Logan jumped forward and jumped to the battlefield. Don't let what they did for him be in vain. Hearing this, Ace was startled suddenly. Yes. They're all here. If he's still undecided at this time, then what qualifications do he have to be worthy of this? I get it. I won't be indecisive anymore. Ace straightened his back and shouted, Luffy. Pop. I won't be confused anymore. Come and save me. Gururara. Hearing Ace's yell, Whitebeard grinned happily. That's the way it is. If even you, Ace, doesn't have the will to survive, then don't those of us who came to save you look like idiots? Watching Ace's change, Whitebeard subconsciously cast his eyes on Logan's back. What an amazing kid! Immediately, Whitebeard pointed his long sword and ordered, Whitebeard pirates obey orders. Protect Ace's younger brother with all your strength. Chapter 189. Woo, Straw Hat Boy. I can't let you pass. Kizaru's figure appeared in front of Luffy, blocking Luffy's way. It's Admiral Kizaru. Seeing Kizaru appear, all marine soldiers shouted excitedly. Kizaru raised his right foot and aimed it in the direction Luffy was running from. A golden ball of light condenses and forms at the bottom of Kizaru's feet. It seems that the energy of the shaped cannon has accumulated to a critical level, and then it is released suddenly. It was an extremely thick golden beam. For a moment, it was as if the sun in the sky fell into the ground. The people around were all stabbed so hard that they couldn't open their eyes. The next moment, the golden laser bombarded Luffy. Woo, now you have to retreat. Kizaru smiled smugly. The other party is Garp's grandson after all, and as Marine Admiral, Kizaru doesn't want to make a fuss. So it's enough to stop it symbolically, and act hard in front of Sengoku. As for the kind of thing that can't be done, let's leave it to Sakazuki's steel head. But just when he thought his laser cannon would push Luffy back, the laser cannon exploded less than 3 meters away from him. There is an invisible barrier forming an absolute block. Damn, it's that guy. Although Kizaru couldn't see the invisible barrier, he immediately guessed what it was. When he was in the Sabayati archipelago before, Logan used this invisible barrier to block his attack. And now it's showing up again. Sure enough, as Kizaru expected, Logan's figure descended from the sky. Hey! Kizaru, our previous battle in Sabayati archipelago is not over yet. Don't interfere with our captain. Logan stood in front of Kizaru and motioned for Luffy to pass quickly. Without any nonsense, Luffy rushed past Kizaru with firm eyes. Kizaru thought about it, but still didn't make a move to stop Luffy. After all, the man in front of him is even more evil. What did you do to Saint Charlos? Thinking of the deeds Logan has done, he is far from angry. Because of this incident, all his bonuses for half a year were deducted. Relax, he is still alive. And, you will see him later. The corners of Logan's mouth twitched slightly, and he said with a smile. Logan brought Saint Charlos here? Kizaru vaguely felt a bad premonition. It's just that there is no evidence to support this premonition, so Kizaru can only stop thinking about it. If you beat me, I will give him back to you, Logan said provocatively. Woo, how arrogant. Hearing this, Kizaru's figure instantly disappeared in place. Almost at the same time, he appeared behind Logan. How about you taste being kicked at the speed of light? With the sound of Kizaru's voice, a golden kick kicked Logan fiercely. Whoosh! One kick fell, and the ape didn't hit any real feeling. Nanny! What the? There was a look of astonishment on his face. Kizaru opened his mouth slightly, and suddenly felt a little bad. Before the battle between Logan and Sabayati Archipelago, Logan basically used Charlos as a shield, and the whole fighting style was wretched. But Kizaru never imagined that Logan could dodge his light speed kick. This guy, is this normal? Don't underestimate me. My speed is not slower than the speed of light. Logan's voice suddenly appeared behind Kizaru. Kizaru's heart skipped a beat. FK? It was supposed to be him sneak attack on Logan, but how did Logan sneak attack him? But Kizaru didn't have time to think about it at this time, and his observation haki didn't have time to judge whether he could dodge. He used the safest method. Defense. Kizaru instantly raised his right arm, and armament haki was wrapped around it. The moment Kizaru's arm raised to defend, Logan's kick has arrived. Countless days and nights of manga accumulation, yes, Logan's defense and speed have reached unimaginable levels. Even though he doesn't have those fancy skills, just relying on his speed and defense, he is definitely a top-level powerhouse in this world. Boom! With one foot down, Kizaru's figure is like a cannonball. With a bang, a building in the distance was reduced to ruins. Oh! FK. What did I see? The co-captain of the Straw Hat Pirates kicked Kizaru away. Are you kidding me? Just now, the Straw Hat boy punched Marineford Vice Admiral away. It's already off the mark. Now their deputy head actually kicked an admiral away. What kind of monsters are these people? In Sabayati Archipelago, the pirates who were watching this battle were all dumbfounded. Pop, that deputy captain seems to be no less powerful than our commander. Beside Whitebeard, Marco commented seriously. Gururera. The commander of the Whitebeard pirates. Don't get compared by the younger generations. Show me your strength. Whitebeard waved Murakumagari in his hand, and swept across with the sword. The marine soldiers in front of him flew away like pear blossoms in a rainstorm. Admiral Kizaru. Not far from where Kizaru fell, marine soldiers exclaimed. But before they were worried, they saw Kizaru popping up from the ruins, saying solemnly, "Artillery unit, pay attention to the opponent's attack." The surrounding marine soldiers suddenly had black lines on their faces. What the hell is he trying to change the subject, so that they can forget how embarrassed he was when he was kicked away just now? And for Luffy, current situation. As soon as he shot a group of marines away, he saw a man carrying a black sword in front of him. Fate, will the proud son of the next era die here, or will he escape the sword smoothly? The owner holding the black sword stared at Luffy coming in front of him with eyes as sharp as an eagle. That's the world's #1 swordsman. It's really strong people appearing one after another. My heart is about to jump out. Is this Summit War? It's scary. The Straw Hat Boy is a rubber man, and he will be at a disadvantage against the great swordsman. Amidst the exclamation of the people, Luffy has already approached by Mihawk. The gaze like a sword glow burst out from the eagle's eyes. The black sword in his hand has not moved yet, but the soaring sword intent has already climbed. Where other people are there, it becomes a world of its own. Even the rampant Luffy had to stop. Because his observation Haki strongly perceives. If he continues to rush forward without thinking, then the only thing waiting for him is injury. Damn! What a strong wind! Where did it come from? Idiot, that's not the wind. It's the aura created by Mihawk's sword intent. It's outrageous. Just the sword intent is so scary. Protect yourself. Don't be hurt by sword intent. The Marines and pirates who were relatively close to each other subconsciously scatter outside the range of Mihawk's sword intent. No one dared to confront them head-on. Don't stop me. I'm here to save Ace, not to duel with guy like you. Luffy clenched his fists tightly, staring firmly at Mihawk with a pair of firm eyes. He hoped that the other party would get out of the way. If not, he can only fight one more time. Only in that way, it will slow down his pace of saving Ace. Just when he was about to do it, a voice that made him feel extremely at ease appeared. Luffy, leave this to me. When the voice fell, a figure with a green hair appeared. There are 3 swords on the waist. Roronoa Zoro. When seeing this person, Mihawk's eyes suddenly lit up. He glanced at Zoro, and then showed affirmation, you have become stronger again. You have also become stronger, #1 swordman in the world. Zoro pressed his palm on the hilt of the sword, and then pulled out Wado Ikimonji with a clang, the strongest. Come and fight me. Let's decide this battle of the world's #1 swordsman. Sure. Almost the moment Zoro uttered these words, Mihawk responded loudly with emotion. His okay accompanied by his sword intent instantly spread to the surroundings, attacking the entire battle platform of Marineford. Hey! What did I see? That young man actually challenged Mihawk to become the #1 swordsman in the world. It's true that a newborn calf is not afraid of tigers. As soon as he opened his mouth, he wanted the position of the world's #1 swordsman. The strange thing is Mihawk's attitude, right? Have you ever seen Mihawk accept someone's challenge with such enthusiasm? Ah! Yes, Mihawk seems to be looking forward to it. Excited too. Is there anything special about this young swordsman? In front of the big screen of Sabayati Archipelago, those pirates who are not bad in strength are also stunned at this time. It's hard to imagine that a young swordsman was taken so seriously by Mihawk. But at this moment, a voice exclaimed, ah! It's him. It's the guy who used to fight Mihawk in East Blue. Damn it! I remembered it too. Mihawk admitted that he had lost a move. This is the guy. Roronoa Zoro. A pirate hunter from East Blue, a combatant of the Straw Hat Pirates. No mistake, he is the existence that even Mihawk admits defeat. Damn it! Are these guys in the Straw Hat Pirates so strong? The captain and the deputy captain are terrifyingly amazing. I didn't expect the #3 in the team to be so strong. Terrible. Mihawk raised his arm and held the hilt of the sword behind his back. The next moment, the black sword Yoru unsheathed. In an instant, the world changed color. That man actually takes this battle so seriously. Feeling the soaring sword intent emanating from Mihawk, Marine Vice Admiral Jun immediately stopped attacking, and the whole group couldn't help looking at Mihawk. This sword intent. It's too serious. Vice Admiral Inigamo's eyes were slightly condensed, and his mouth was shocked. Vice Admiral Strawberry said in a deep voice, it's just to deal with that kid, is it really necessary? Doflamingo had a wild smile on his face, phew 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 fur. This guy is so good, I can't wait to see the strength of this green moss-headed swordsman. Vista cut back several marine soldiers with his sword, and instead of continuing to move forward, he stopped. He murmured to himself, I'm really envious. This young man, not only these people, but anyone with a sword in their hand. Even those swordsmen in front of the big screens. In this sea, as long as you are a swordsman, you will challenge this man in front of you. And when they saw the man in front of them treat another swordsman with unprecedented attention, even the great swordsmen have a kind of jealousy. And at this time, Zoro holds Wado in his hand. Unsheath slowly. Chapter 190. Zoro holds the scabbard of Wado Ichimonji in his left hand and lays it in front of him. Slowly pull out the blade with his right hand. The moment the blade was unsheathed, it seemed as if something had been liberated from the seal. A soul-shaking momentum spread quietly. Between heaven and earth, there seems to be something that does not belong to this world, floating. As the blade is unsheathed more and more, the heart-shattering soul coercion can no longer be restrained. At first it was like the wind in March, it just made people feel the wind pressure. But at this moment, the terrifying coercion swept across the entire Marineford battlefield in an instant like a sudden storm. Ka ka ka. On the ground. On these. In front of this absolutely powerful sword intent, countless gaps appeared. The marine soldiers and pirates who were closer were directly swept away by this sword intent, like fallen leaves in the autumn wind, and they were all swept aside. Between heaven and earth, two sword intents collided violently. Although the sword intent is invisible, at this time, no matter who it is, even those who don't know how to use swords, they can clearly feel the existence of the two sword intents. Oh my god! What kind of strength the two of them have? I didn't see anything, but they were so scary. Why are the two of them standing there motionless? Stupid! They are already fighting. The battle between the real great swordsmen is the way of the sword. On the battlefield, those great swordsmen are all crazy now. They completely forgot about the fight, and they all tacitly stopped their attacks. They are greedy to feel these two top-level sword intents. This is definitely a once-in-a-lifetime feast. The entire sky, under the condensed momentum, gives people the feeling that. In a corner of the battlefield, Tashigi looked at this scene with a pale face. She still remembered that when she saw Zoro in Alabasta, she once boasted that she wanted to take away the swords in Zoro's hand. But at that time, she did not only fail to take away the sword, and was deeply reprimanded by Logan. Now it seems. In the hands of this guy, Wado Ichimonji have already surpassed the scope of 21 great grade blades. It's really like what Logan said. If the sword has wisdom, the sword will choose its owner. Any sword wants to be famous in the world. Wado was unsheathed, but the other two swords on Zoro's waist fell to the ground. Mihawk frowned, and his eyes fell on the two swords on the ground. I shouldn't remember this kind of thing wrongly, you are a three-sword style swordman. That's right. Zoro's eyes were determined. Then why? Eagle eyes fixed on the two swords on the ground. According to common sense, Zoro should have bitten the sword in his mouth at this time, while the other two swords were in his hands. Zoro replied calmly, when she appeared, every time I hold other sword, she threatened to kill me. Zoro's eyes suddenly showed calm face, he stroked the sword surface of Wado's sword, didn't say much, just murmured, she is one and only. Talking room. Zoro pointed Wado Ichimonji to the sky, let's go to the top of the world, come back, Kuina. Nani? When hearing Zoro's speech, Logan was shocked. FK. Are you kidding? Could it be that Zoro's Zanpakuto is actually Kuina? If this is the case, then Logan seems to understand why Zoro's Zanpakuto ability was not copied to him. It is very possible that the main reason why this Wado evolved into Zanpakuto is not because of the manga, but because Zoro's obsession with Kuina has formed a response in the Shinigami world. As the Shikai liberation speech-off was shouted by Zoro, the incomparable Ryotsu surged out of the sword in an instant. These Ryotsu wrapped Zoro in an instant. Behind Zoro formed a phantom of a girl slightly taller than Zoro by 2 centimeters. Ah! What's going on with Zoro? Why is he calling Kuina's name? Sanji had just jumped off the deck when he saw such a scene that surprised him. Chopper shouted excitedly, look at the phantom behind Zoro, is that the girl Zoro has always been thinking about? Death. I can feel it, that's the power of Shinigami. As a person who also possesses the Zanpakuto weapon, Usopp has the strongest feeling for Zoro at this time. He could clearly feel that in the phantom behind Zoro, it was definitely not the shell of his soul, but an existence with a real soul. Is it someone else's way of the sword? Mihawk stared at the phantom behind Zoro, and said slightly, although the way of the sword is a little immature, the will of the way of the sword is terrifyingly strong. That's right, she is what I'm carrying. With hard work, I'm going to be number 1 in the world. Zoro flipped his right hand, holding the handle of the sword with both hands at the same time. At the same time, the phantom behind Zoro seemed to merge with Zoro, and the phantom's hands also held Wado. The moment Kuina held the sword, Zoro felt infinite power. He has been working hard. His powers have grown to this point. I see. Seeing that the little swordsman in East Blue has grown to this level, Mihawk is very pleased. He grabbed the handle of the sword with one hand and the sword pavilion with the other. Here I come. Roronoa Zoro. Mihawk waved it seemingly casually, but it was actually not simple. With one move of the sword intent behind Mihawk moves accordingly. It's like a wooden stick mixed into the cloth, bringing all the cloth it passes to the front. At this moment, Mihawk's sword intent moved with the eagle's eyes and turned into an invisible blade. With infinite pressure, crash down. Well done. Zoro's eyes were deep, and he felt the bursts of responses from Wado, and whispered in his mouth, Kuina, we're going. While speaking, Zoro held up the sword in his hand. Very common move. But the way he raises his hand is as if he is pulling the mountain away. It seemed that what he lifted up was not a sword, but a towering mountain. A peak of sword power. One-shot style, four-handed slash. At this moment, the hands of Phantom and Zoro tightly held Wado Ikimonji at the same time. The majestic Ryotsuo is like a dam that suddenly burst, and it is violently injected with the sword. With one blow, the sky and the earth changed color, as if a star was falling. The wind of Ryotsuo that was blown up, the moment it touched the people around, made them all look terrified, transparent. God! What kind of terrifying sword intent is this? Boom! Before the two swords touched each other, the swords collided with each other. Chapter 191. The two energy swords exploded in an instant with monstrous momentum. The ripples caused by the sword's momentum were extremely sharp, and when they swept around, even the air was cut into cracks. In a form that is almost visible to the naked eye, pieces of sword energy slashing waves formed by the explosion of sword intent are like thousands of years of snow falling, splashing all over the sky. Whoa! Back up quickly! It's so far away, and it's still splashing over. It's too scary. Ah! My hand was cut off. Call the medic. Damn it, it's so sharp, my low-level armament haki is useless in front of such a wave of sword energy. All of a sudden, those pirates and marines who watched from a close distance because of the pressure were all damaged by this fierce sword energy. The two figures retreated at the touch of a touch, and then fought together again in less than 0.01 seconds. Bang 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 bang. On the battlefield, the clashing sound of two swords resounded into a dense storm. God knows how many times the two of them have attacked each other at this moment. Sabayati Archipelago. It's too exaggerated. Is this really the level that people can achieve? I can't see the attack of the two of them at all. You just can't see the attack of the two of them clearly, I can't even see the F-King people. Is this how Mihawk when he is attacking with all his strength? This attack speed is too fast. What's even more frightening is that Zoro, the pirate hunter, is actually on par in such a high-intensity battle. Mad. This guy shouldn't be measured as a supernova at all. The pirates in front of the big screen were all shocked by Zoro's strength. Especially those supernovas, they don't feel like they are the same kind of supernova as Zoro anymore. On the battlefield, the black sword Yoru is flying left and right in the hands of Mihawk. Wado on the opposite side did not give in, it was overbearing. The two fought from the sky to the ground, and then from the ground to the ice field. Wherever it went, everything was destroyed. Damn! Watching this scene, Sengoku felt for the first time that it was a wrong decision to choose Marineford as the battlefield of this war. Not to mention whether this war will be won or lost in the end, just looking at the recent destruction, Marineford future may not be guaranteed. Such a young swordsman can fight head-to-head with Mihawk, what a monstrous talent! Watching the battle between the two swordsmen, Vice Admiral Jun murmured in her heart, deeply shocked. Don't be dazed. Stop the Straw Hat boy. At this time, Sengoku's roar instantly spread throughout Marineford from the radio Den Den Mushi. Under his roar, everyone's eyes immediately turned to Luffy. Good guy. While everyone was attracted by the fight of the world's #1 swordsman, this guy was about to go to the execution platform. Too cunning. Doflamingo stepped on the sky's path line, and appeared in midair in front of Luffy as if flying, although I like you, kid, but your good luck ends here. While speaking, he flexed his fingers upwards, and several invisible transparent threads were thrown up, and then landed on Luffy's body. Fur, turn your head and attack your crewmate. With a characteristic smirk, Doflamingo flicked his fingers, as if conducting a symphony. But the next moment, Doflamingo frowned. Hey? Why didn't he move? On Luffy's body, the jet black armament haki instantly covered his whole body. He scratched his body with his hand, and tore off a handful of invisible threads at once. It turned out to be you, clown. Who tried to block my way me? Throwing the string on the ground casually, Luffy continued to rush forward. It's surprising that he saw through my parasite string. But, let's try the next move. Doflamingo throws one hand into the air. A large number of thin lines erupt violently like a fountain. These thin threads quickly gathered together to form a very thick bundle. Overheat. Like swinging a sledgehammer, Doflamingo threw the entangled wires backwards, and then slammed towards Luffy in front again. But at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared from above his head. Didn't you hear what our captain said? Don't get in his way. You little clown. The speaker is none other than Sanji. With the power of opening the sixth gate, he jumped into the sky in an instant, and then attacked from the top of Doflamingo's head with the great momentum. Leaf Great Whirlwind. Nanny. Sensing a dangerous aura coming from above, Doflamingo raised his head, only to see a leg had already landed on his face. There was no time to dodge, Doflamingo immediately raised his hand to block. It's a pity that he is not a Logia ability user and cannot be elementalized. Boom. Dash. Sanji kicked down, Doflamingo's arm was kicked hard on his own face, and then dented. Boom. Doflamingo, who was originally in mid-air, blasted into the ground in an instant. Luffy. Leave this to me. Sanji landed on the ground, took a puff on his cigarette, and shook his head. Thank you, Sanji. Luffy readily accepts the help of his crewmates. In front of the big screen of Sabayati Archipelago. What's the matter with this guy? He's just an unknown guy, right? Why can someone like Doflamingo be kicked away? Supernova Apple had an unbelievable expression on his face. Capone Beak nodded, yes, he and not one of the supernovas with a bounty of over 100 million. He should be just an ordinary fighter in the Straw Hats. You call this kind of guy who kicks Doflamingo away an ordinary character? Supernova Urage has question marks written on his face. Kid said, compared to other people in the Straw Hat Pirates, he is indeed an ordinary fighter in the Straw Hats. How can you say something so heartbreaking? An ordinary fighter in the group are no less powerful than the Supernova. X-Drake curled his lips and said depressedly. The Supernovas looked at each other in blank dismay. Hey? You see that? Doflamingo is fine. At this time, a pirate pointed at the big screen and exclaimed. Everyone immediately looked at the big screen. Sure enough. Doflamingo can't be that weak. That's right. As a big pirate group with a bounty of more than 300 million, and the bounty was before he became 7 warlords of the sea, how could he be placed in the hands of a small pirate with a bounty of only tens of millions? Just now Doflamingo was just teasing him. Haha. Look, Doflamingo is about to beat the shit out of him. In the battlefield. Phew fur fur. What strength, I almost fell into your attack. Doflamingo appeared in the ruins not far from Sanji, sitting on a pile of rubble with a happy smile on his face. And under Sanji's feet, Doflamingo, who was kicked by Sanji just now, has turned into a bunch of scattered thin wires. This is Doflamingo's forte, Black Knight. Coil it round and round with thin wire to make a clone that can move freely and use part of the main body's ability. Looking at Doflamingo, Sanji was not too surprised, but said lightly, it's okay, I can easily defeat 100 of this kind of guy. Hearing this word out of Sanji's mouth, Doflamingo can't stand it. What a naive guy. Anyone who dares to look down on me, Doflamingo, hasn't been born yet. He moved his feet, and his figure instantly came in front of Sanji. Leg saw string. Lifting the foot and hitting it, a sharp steel wire was drawn from the foot. Sanji kicked him up. With the degree to which he opened the sixth scene gate, the basic attributes of his body were stimulated dozens of times. The speed is so fast, there is no need to say more. Before Doflamingo's kick came, Sanji's kick had already kicked Doflamingo's stomach. Boom! Doflamingo is like a cannonball, directly blasted into the ruins. In front of the big screen, those people who were still waiting to see Doflamingo's big comeback, all stood there in a daze. FK? Didn't you say you are going to kill that guy? It's been said that you are just a small character. Know your place. Sanji is very upset right now. He always thought he was on par with Zoro. But now Zoro is already in a peak battle with the world's #1 swordsman. But he didn't even offer a bounty of over 100 million. The more he thought about it, the more depressed he became. Sanji had no choice but to vent his anger on Doflamingo. Boom! The ruins exploded, and Doflamingo rushed out from inside with a bruised nose and a swollen face. Bastard! Being looked down upon again and again, Doflamingo was so angry that he was about to explode. But he was kicked away by the opponent like garbage again and again. This is really trying to prove yourself but can't do anything. Originally he planned to keep his strength a secret, but if he keeps it now, he will really be nailed to the pillar of shame. Damn! You asked for it. Doflamingo pressed both hands to the ground. String fruit awakening. With the effect of the fruit ability, the ground and buildings around Doflamingo all become string. Lines rushed up to the sky, like an ocean of lines. That bastard, what a fool! Sengoku looked this way, suddenly furious. Sakazuki was also very angry. He looked at Doflamingo, and cursed, idiot! Limit your area of attack, if it affects too many marines, I will kill you myself. Doflamingo feels aggrieved. Even if you want to stand up, you can't make a move unscrupulously. However, a small range is a small range, anyway, it does not affect the power of the move. A large number of white strings swayed like waves, and under the mobilization of Doflamingo, they formed the shape of two wings around Doflamingo. The jet black armament haki is wrapped all over the thin threads woven into wings. Just looking at it from the hair, there are flamingos soaring into the sky, which is quite scary. Senbon no Ye, flap thread. Doflamingo flies to Sanji and cross with both hands. The large-scale wings suddenly attacked Sanji's direction. What power! An attack of this scale, there is no way to completely defend it. This is an attack with countless string, as long as one of them hit, the opponent will be seriously injured. What's even more frightening is that once he is attacked by this string, more string bundles will be shot into his body one after another. The guy who can become 7 warlords of the sea, as expected, all of them all powerful. That guy is finished. Just when most people thought that Sanji will die, they saw Sanji lightly squeezed the cigarette in his mouth, and then flicked it to the ground. It seems, I need to become serious. Shaking his head slightly, sighed, Sanji stepped on his feet, and his body burst into the air in an instant. He goes in the direction of Doflamingo and kicks it out. No. Not a kick. This looks like a kick. In fact, countless kicks were kicked in an instant. But because it is so fast, it looks like there is only one foot. Every foot had a violent friction with the air because of the speed too fast, forming a blazing flame. In an instant, countless feet blasted out. Countless fire erupted like a scattered flowers. The fire dyed the sky red. It is as bright as a sunrise, and more dazzling like a peacock's tail feathers. This is Morning Peacock. Chapter 192. Morning Peacock. The moment the flame flower blooms, the entire sky is red. Just like a peacock spreading its tail, it is so beautiful. What happens when a flamingo meets a peacock? The thin lines all over the sky burned and melted instantly under the high temperature of the flame. Then turned to ashes. Sitsizi. When the Doflamingo's wings were burnt clean, the next flame immediately engulfed Doflamingo. Balls of fire fell on Doflamingo's body one after another, as if he had been hit by a heavy machine gun. His body kept sifting through the air. As the last flame fell, Doflamingo's body fell from the sky like a rag bag. The ground was splashed with rubble, and smoke. It's fake. Doflamingo is weak in front of him. Is this chef really just a guy with a bounty of tens of millions? What was that move just now? Does Devil Fruit have this ability? It doesn't look like it. Whatever his ability is, it's a terrifying ability anyway. This guy is a monster. I feel that after this battle, if this guy survived Marineford, his bounty would definitely skyrocket. Does this still need to be said? Seeing that Doflamingo was suppressed the whole time, the melon eaters were all shocked and dumbfounded. No doubt. From this moment on, the name Sanji will resound in this sea. Boom. Sanji landed with a crash, standing next to Doflamingo's head. He took out a cigarette and lit it leisurely. He took a sip, showing the expression that a smoker should have on his face, then looked down at Doflamingo. Just a small character, what else do you have to say? Doflamingo's body was in severe pain at this time, and he was seriously injured. Hearing Sanji's face-to-face world, he almost died of anger. Bastard! I just lost to a move, why are you acting so tough? Cough cough cough. The anger was overwhelming, making Doflamingo cough violently. A move. Hearing this, the corners of Sanji's mouth curled up slightly. Stop being sentimental. I haven't put in my best effort yet. You are far behind. Saying that, Sanji kicked out. Boom. Doflamingo's body is like a broken sandbag, he was kicked into the ruins with a bang. Woo, another scary guy has appeared. While circling with Logan, Kizaru looked at Sanji and muttered in his mouth. I didn't expect this guy to have such strength. Aokiji recalled that time on Long Island, the moment Sanji fought against him, he was easily frozen by him. It stands to reason that he should be a rookie. But judging from the fight between Sanji and Doflamingo just now, his strength is obviously very strong. And after defeating Doflamingo, it is clear that there is still room to grow. Sakazuki's face was gloomy. The guys in the Straw Hat Pirates are indeed dangerous, and they must be eliminated. At this time, he has already made up his mind to try to eliminate this pirate group and kill these dangerous seeds in the bud. On the other side, Luffy continued to sprint forward. But suddenly, his face changed, and the momentum of the whole person stopped abruptly. Jump back suddenly. An air cannon like a bear's paw landed on where Luffy was just now. Boom. The air cannon exploded, and the entire ground was instantly dazzled. Straw Hat Boy, we will escort you. A group of pirates from the Whitebeard Pirates caught up at this time, shouting and rushing towards Bartholomew Kuma. Bartholomew Kuma is expressionless, like a blunt war machine. They saw him open his mouth. Whoosh! A beam of laser beam blasted out, and the pirates in front of him were instantly burnt out. Don't waste your strength, buy time for Ace's brother. With the cover of a few pirates just now, the rest of the pirates rushed to Bartholomew Kuma, and they waved their weapons and attacked Bartholomew Kuma fiercely. Boom boom boom. When their weapons, swords, and guns fell on Bartholomew Kuma's body, they seemed to hit the iron wall, and they couldn't break through the defense at all. What? What a freak this guy is! Why is his body made of steel? No, it won't work. Just when these pirates were confused, Bartholomew Kuma moved. His palm directly patted a pirate's body. Whoosh! The pirate actually disappeared. Pen! The big-eyed pirate on the side yelled in panic. But the next moment, whoosh! Under the palm of Bartholomew Kuma, he also disappeared in place. Then, whoosh! Whoosh! These pirates all seemed to disappear in an instant, one after another. Ah! Damn bastard! Luffy's anger was instantly ignited. Although it was only the first meeting, these pirates helped Luffy, which was recognized by Luffy. Without any hesitation, Luffy rushed forward to avenge the pirates. Gomu Gomu no pistol! Luffy punched Bartholomew Kuma. And Bartholomew Kuma slapped Luffy with the same palm. At the moment when the attacks of the two were about to come into contact, an invisible barrier blocked the critical surface of the attack of the two. However, nothing happened. Luffy, don't touch him. His fruit ability can bounce you away in an instant. Nami rode a small wand and flew to Luffy's side. After the Sabayati archipelago last time, Logan realized this after meeting Bartholomew Kuma. So he talked to Nami alone. If she meet Bartholomew Kuma in Summit War, remember not to have any physical contact with him and rely on the roll of the shield card to stop him. After all, this type fruit ability is sometimes too buggy, and it cannot be dealt with by the strong or weak. He touches you and then you flies away. Even if you are not injured, but when you come back, this battle is over. Luffy, get around him, I'll deal with this tricky guy. Nami flipped his hand, and the wind card appeared in his hand. The magic power surged, and a gust of wind condensed into a fierce offensive. Rumble! The wind was like a torrent, and it hit Bartholomew Kuma violently. The huge body was instantly rolled around by the strong wind. In a hurry, he slapped the gale with his palm. Whoosh! The strong wind impact bounced off in an instant, rushing to the sky. Nami, I leave it to you. Without hesitation, Luffy left the battlefield on this side and continued to rush forward. Seeing that Luffy was about to run, Bartholomew Kuma slapped forward with both hands, and immediately formed a huge bear paw-shaped air cannon. At this moment, the surrounding air seemed to be compressed in an instant. Although he can't speak, his intentions are obvious. Just stop Luffy! Boom! The moment the huge bear's paw shockwave was released, all the surrounding pirates and marines showed terrified eyes. Just from the feeling of this momentum, you can know how terrifying the explosion of this palm is. But at this moment, the maze card in Nami's hand flashed. Go in. The magical energy of the maze card immediately formed a dimensional labyrinth, including Bartholomew Kuma and the Bear's Paw shock wave. Rumble. Violent explosions raged wildly in the maze. They saw that the edge of the maze kept jumping back and forth between destruction and recovery. Stay there till Luffy rescues his big brother. Nami's figure also appeared in the maze. With a wave of her little magic wand, a fireball shot past. Bartholomew Kuma bounced the fireball away with a palm, and then slammed the shock wave at the border of the maze next to it. Boom 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 boom. Violent explosions are continuously generated, but no matter how many times the edge of the maze is destroyed, it will recover in an instant. The magic power of the maze is consumed so quickly, it seems that I have to stop him from destroying the maze, otherwise the maze won't last long. Thinking of this, Nami used wind, fire, and thunder cards at the same time. Fire, wind blades, lightning. It was like a local rich man, constantly throwing all kinds of life-saving props at Bartholomew Kuma. Chapter 193. Ace. I'm coming. Finally, Luffy is less than 100 meters away from the platform of the execution platform. Here, he can clearly see Ace's facial expression. Ace also saw the excitement on Luffy's face clearly. Luffy. Ace didn't know what to say except calling Luffy's name. Ice Age. Suddenly, a biting cold air suddenly appeared, rolling in from the right side. Wherever you go along the way, everything is ice. Luffy, be careful, get out of the way. Seeing this scene, Ace shouted. But Luffy's expression was fixed and he didn't dodge. Instead, the right fist instantly enlarged, wrapping around the black armament haki. Gomu Gomu no spread. __. With a fierce bang, he smashed directly on the incoming cold wave. Boom. The billowing cold air was like water bubbles hitting the wall, bursting and splashing in all directions. Anger burst out of Luffy's eyes, he stared fiercely at Aokiji, and growled, "Don't bother me. I just want to save my big brother." The moment Luffy's eyes fell on Aokiji's face, Aokiji couldn't help but feel intimidated. Such a firm gaze. The genes of the monkey family are really scary. Only he, Aokiji, is not weak-willed. Although it is very touching, but the position is different, I have no reason to let you pass. Aokiji's right arm turned into icy ice, which is like water waves and has strong plasticity. In the blink of an eye, it became a water giant. Pheasant beak. Without holding back, Aokiji pushed forward with his right hand, and the cold, ice bird immediately flapped its wings and flew towards Luffy. Get away from me! Luffy's arms were wrapped around armament haki, and when the big ice bird flew in front of him, the two fists slammed onto the big ice bird's head from left and right, like closing a door. Boom! This ice big bird was instantly smashed into shattered ice. This violent freezing shock wave also caused Luffy to be shocked back several steps. Aokiji was full of fighting spirit, and continued to press forward, trying to take the opportunity to chase Luffy fiercely. But at this moment, the surrounding air seemed to be ignited, and the temperature suddenly soared. You can even clearly see the white smoke coming out of the air. And the scorched smell permeated the air. What's happening here? Aokiji subconsciously looked, and immediately saw a chain bursting with blazing fire. Boom! The moment the fire chain hit Aokiji, his body was smashed to pieces. Accompanied by the roar of the engine, a motorcycle with burning fire came quickly. The motorcycle braked suddenly beside Luffy and stopped steadily. This is where people discover. Not only the motorcycle burning, but this rider is burning too. Ah! What is that? Oh my god, I must be dreaming. It's a burning skeleton. That's a human or a ghost? Why did I see a living skeleton with fire all over it? Fake. It must be fake. www. Those marine soldiers at close range, after witnessing Marine Admiral being crushed by a burning skeleton, all went crazy. Can't believe things. Sabayati Archipelago. FK. What is this? Apu, who was eating bananas, was so shocked that his eyeballs were about to fall out, and his mouth was full of bananas spraying all over the floor. Captain, I think I saw a skeleton attacking Marine Admiral. The corner of Capone Beeg's mouth twitched. You seem to have seen? Didn't I see it? That is really a living skeleton. And it is strong. Crazy. The world must be crazy. Hawkins was horrified, and murmured, "Don't tell me, this guy is also a member of the Straw Hat Pirates." Kid said, "He is helping the Straw Hat, even if he is not a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, he is definitely an accomplice of the Straw Hat Killer, another guy I haven't heard of before. He doesn't even have a bounty, but he has the strength to fight on par with Marine Admiral, even more outrageous than that chef." Urge was dumbfounded, and stammered, "I feel that, the Straw Hat Pirates group is on par for Emperor's group. Perhaps even more." Trafalgar Law's complexion is also distorted, completely chilled by the electric shock. On the battlefield. When Brook made his debut as a Ghost Rider, he immediately became the focus of the audience. Facing the spotlight that everyone was looking at, Brook's nature suddenly changed. He stood on the seat of the motorcycle and bowed deeply to everyone. "In this battlefield of fighting and killing, I want to bring everyone a song to alleviate the hatred in everyone's heart." As he said, Brook took his cane and sword and went out. Then the blade rested on the cane, and pulled it up like playing a violin. There is actually a melody. Yo ho 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 ho. KHHH. Gather up all of the crew. It's time to ship out Bink's brew. The wind it blows, to where who knows. The waves will be our guide. O'er across the ocean's tide, rays of sunshine far and wide. The birds, they sing, of cheerful things in circles passing by. FK. Everyone is dumbfounded. A skeleton who can play the violin and sing? On today's battlefield, outrageous things happened one after another. Now even the skeletons can sing. It's outrageous. Open the door for outrageous, outrageous. It's home. However, when the song spread, the two sides in the war were really listening. Especially the pirates. This song literally sang right into their hearts. Yet, as pirates, what we are after is that freedom. Just like the waves, do whatever you want. If Sengoku didn't use Ace as a pawn, we would still be drinking wine, eating meat, and having banquets in the sea. Many marine soldiers even heard the singing, and couldn't help but agree with the purpose of the lyrics from the bottom of their hearts. Yes. Life is too short, why be so tired? Shut up. All of a sudden, a loud shout spread throughout Marineford through the PA system. Also interrupted Brook's singing. "This is Sengoku's anger," he said angrily, "Aokiji. Stop him, he is disturbing the morale of the marine." Here. Aokiji had just condensed from a pile of crushed ice, and he looked at Brook, frowning, "Are you from the Straw Hat Pirates too?" "Yo ho 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 ho, that's right." Brook politely responded to the blue box. Hearing this, Aokiji frowned. "About a month ago, when I met the Straw Hat Pirates, I didn't see you." "Ah, that's right." Brook nodded, "Because I was invited to join the Straw Hat Pirates about 2 weeks ago." Suddenly thought of something, Brook added, "By the way, everyone in this team is friendly, and they speak nicely. I really like this place." Aokiji looks dumbfounded. What is this? But there is one thing he can be sure of. That is, Brook has only just joined the Straw Hat Pirates. He immediately said with emotion, "Such a strong man has been recruited in such a short period of time, what magical power does the Straw Hat boy have?" Of course, what he doesn't know is that it is precisely because Brook joined the Straw Hat Pirates that he can have such strength. Outsiders will not understand the cause and effect of this. In that case, let's catch you first, and then deal with the Straw Hat boy. Aokiji leaps lightly, and jumps halfway up. Ice spears continuously condensed from his hands, and he threw them violently at Brook. Whoosh whoosh. A large number of ice spears flew towards them like a rain of swords all over the sky. Yo ho 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 ho. I love dealing with ice ones. Brook put the cane sword into the scabbard without any haste. With a pull of his hands, the soul chains appeared automatically, and fire filled them. He grabbed chain end with one hand, and suddenly shook the soul chain with the other hand. Soul chain windmill. ___. With the attack from Brook, the soul chains burning with the fire of hell were suddenly shaken into an impenetrable wall of fire and chains. When those ice spears approached this cross-section, they were all crushed to pieces. Seeing that the attack didn't work, Aokiji looked a little stunned. But at the moment when he was dazed, he saw Brook pull out the soul chain with a whoosh. Hey! As soon as Aokiji was about to swear, he was directly captured by the soul chain. The chain clattered around his body more than a dozen times, and then Brook pulled it hard. Boom! Aokiji exploded again. Chapter 194. Yo ho 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 ho, this hellfire is really easy to use. Brook is in a great mood right now. He has lived for so many years, and he never dared to think that he could face Marine Admiral head-on. And now, not only did this happen, but he also exploded an admiral. It's so cool. Are you distracted? Suddenly, Aokiji's voice appeared in his ear. Brook woke up from the racing thoughts. But Aokiji has already rushed forward. Ice Age. The moment the cold air appeared, the temperature continued to plummet like a rocket flying downwards. Caw 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 caw. Brook didn't have time to react, he was frozen into a big lump of ice. Good. Admiral 1. That skeleton is frozen. Logia ability users are really hard to beat. Seeing that Aokiji was not only fine, but captured Brook with ease, the marine soldiers cheered up again. But it didn't take long for them to be happy, when they saw a terrible flame bursting out from the frozen big ice block. The flame dissipates the chill, melts the ice. The burning skeleton appeared in front of everyone again. Yo ho ho ho, I was frozen by you inadvertently. Brook made a funny expression, then touched the chain with his palm, and attacked it towards Aokiji again. Ice burst. As expected of Admiral, Aokiji has rich combat experience. Drawing on the experience of the previous 2 times, this time he did not touch the soul chains directly, but used the extremely cold ice blast to intercept the attack route of the soul chains. This method really worked. When the ice blast appeared out of thin air on the attack route of the soul chain, the extreme freezing instantly interrupted the attack of the soul chain. It seems that Admiral can't be killed in one shot. Brook looked at the soul chain's ice in mid-air, and the hellfire on his arm quickly passed through, melting the extreme freezing, thus retracting the soul chains, and launched an attack again. Sakazuki. I leave the straw hat to you. Although Aokiji temporarily controlled the situation, he couldn't get rid of Brook's entanglement in a short time and remind Sakazuki. Just in time. Sakazuki has been waiting. He doesn't have any scruples like Kizaru or Aokiji, he is deadly when he makes a move. Infernal Dog. __. The magma attack, blasted towards Luffy with an incomparable force. Even Luffy with armament haki turned on, he don't want to suffer this damage. Seeing that the execution platform was already in front of him, Luffy was forced to jump backwards, avoiding the devastating magma. With one move to force Luffy back, Sakazuki suddenly shouted, unless you pay the necessary price, you can't save anyone. This seems to be a bit confusing. But in the battlefield, there was a person who gritted his teeth and was angry when he heard this. Really? They have reached an agreement already. Only by paying a certain price can Ace be saved. Maelstrom Spider Squad. Before this fight even started, he received a call from Marine Admiral Akainu. On the Den Den Mushi, Akainu told him that Marine and the Whitebeard pirate group had reached an agreement, as long as Whitebeard was willing to kill and let the 43 pirate groups under his command into Marine's encirclement, Marine would let Ace go. This word. Of course, the Maelstrom Spider Squad can't believe it easily. But until he learned that Ace's true identity is the son of Gold Roger, Squad's heart was finally shaken. His crewmates were all killed by Roger pirates, and Whitebeard knows about this. But instead of avenging him, Whitebeard took Roger's son as his son. As long as you are a normal person, it is impossible not to have grudges in your heart. What's more, a pirate like Squad who is full of hatred. Hearing Sakazuki say that again now, Squad is even more sure that there must be some kind of shady affair between Marine and Whitebeard. Activate the surrounding wall. At this time, Sengoku's order suddenly resounded. Following Sengoku's order, there was a huge roar around the circle of Crescent Harbor. Immediately afterwards, they saw that the ice surface was smashed through with a bang, and pieces of iron walls like city walls revealed their ferocious faces from the sea water. They rose from the sea in perfect fit, completely blocking the Crescent Harbor into a deep giant iron barrel. At this time, Marine on the battle platform looked at the pirates in the Iron Barrel Harbor as if he was looking at a turtle in a jar. Damn it! Whitebeard, you really betrayed us! With a roar of anger in his heart, Squad though. He forced himself to calmly walk to Whitebeard at the front of the deck. Whitebeard also noticed someone coming behind him, and turned his head slightly to look over. Squad, are you okay? I couldn't contact you just now. It was predicted just now that Marine had a conspiracy, and Whitebeard had already issued an order to disperse the large fleet under his command in advance. "Ah, I'm sorry. Pop." Squard walked forward with a long sword and stopped in front of Whitebeard. From this angle, he completely left his back to Whitebeard, showing great trust in Whitebeard. "Pop, the pirate group under our command has suffered heavy losses. All combat power is put on the line, but the enemy surrounds us." As Squard said, the Whitebeard pirates were indeed surrounded when the pacifists appeared behind the harbor. Whitebeard nodded, "I'm going to go out too. We need to break through the enemy's formation, otherwise it will be very bad for us." "Indeed. We are all grateful to you. We would do anything for the Whitebeard pirates." When the last word came out of Squard's mouth, he turned around abruptly, and stabbed the long sword in Whitebeard's body behind him hard. Wow! When this scene appeared, the entire battlefield seemed to fall into deathly silence instantly. All eyes turned to the deck of the Moby Dick. Looking at the body pierced by the long sword, it is like a painting. Whitebeard was impaled by. The culprit is Squard of the Whitebeard pirates. What's going on here? How could this happen? Crazy! Crazy! In front of all the live cameras, all the audience. Whether it is pirates, marines, or civilians, all of them are dumbfounded. Chapter 195. Even Whitebeard himself was dumbfounded. The moment Squard turned around just now, he did notice a trace of malice. But he insisted that his son would not hurt him, and he didn't even use observation haki to detect Squard's next move. Because of this, Squard was able to stab Whitebeard with his sword. It can be said. It was Whitebeard's fatherly love that Squard exploited to hurt Whitebeard. Squard! Like a sharp sword, Marco descended from the sky, pinned Squard's head, and pressed him directly to the ground of the deck. He yelled full of anger and incomprehension, "Why are you doing this? Pop!" The captains all looked at Whitebeard worriedly. "Brush!" Squard slashed at Marco and shouted, "Aren't you the ones who forced me to do this?" Marco was about to continue to subdue Squard, but Whitebeard blocked it with his hand. However, Squard didn't appreciate it. "Stop acting, Whitebeard. You've colluded with Marine, right? They'll make sure you Whitebeard pirates and Ace are safe." "Hey, hello. Squard, what are you talking about? What happened? Squard, why did you say that? Did you hear something?" The pirates looked at Squard with puzzled faces. "We've been tricked," Squard yelled, "for Whitebeard, among all the sons, Ace is the most special one. In order to save him, Whitebeard betrayed us 43 pirates. The Whitebeard pirates and Ace will be saved. Sengoku already promised you, am I right? But all of us are still in the dark. For Ace, for Whitebeard, we're here. But now let's take a good look at the situation in the harbor. Isn't it us who are the living targets? We're trapped in the ice and there's no way out." Squard's words spread nearly throughout Marineford, and throughout the world via the live Den Den Mushi. But at this time, Sengoku got angry. What the hell? Why is there still a live Den Den Mushi working? Sengoku doesn't want the world to see this kind of situation. What happened before can be seen by the world. All people need to know is that this war is marine and that's enough. As for any nasty behavior in the process, that should never be seen. So at the moment when Squard said that Whitebeard had betrayed the 43 pirates under his command, Sengoku ordered to shut down the live broadcast. But the problem is, why would there still be a live Den Den Mushi at work? Sengoku is entirely conceivable, as Whitebeard will surely explain later. In this way, the dirty water splashed on Whitebeard may be washed away. This is definitely not what Sengoku wants to see. He quickly scanned the battlefield, and through the live broadcast of the footage on the big screen, he quickly locked the position of the video Den Den Mushi on the scene. It was on the mast of the Going Merry, and a young girl dressed in a raincoat was sitting on the mast, and she seemed to be carrying high-tech weapons. In the girl's hand, she was holding a large live Den Den Mushi, which was broadcasting live to the entire battlefield. "Aokiji! There!" Sengoku pointed at the top of the mast of the Going Merry with his hand, and ordered loudly. "Clear!" Aokiji has been the admiral for so many years, and he already knows Sengoku's orders like the back of his hand, so he doesn't need Sengoku to speak clearly. He stepped on the air, and the Marine 6 Styles body technique instantly rushed it in the opposite direction. "Hey!" Brook looked bewildered. He has been guarding against Aokiji to chase Luffy, but he didn't expect Aokiji to turn back at this time. By the time he realized it, Aokiji was already approaching Going Merry. Mini Ice Age. Aokiji pressed forward with both hands, and the extremely cold billowed out. Ka 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 ka. Those ice surfaces that were originally ice were ice hard again. And this ice is like a gust of wind, blowing towards Going Merry in an instant. No. That girl is in danger. Marine is so anxious to turn off the live broadcast, there must be some ulterior motive. Yet, I see something wrong with the Whitebeard thing. Damn it. All the live broadcast signals are suddenly interrupted, and this is the only one left. No chance. The combat power of the Straw Hat Pirates should all go out to fight, and no one will protect this girl. Just when the Melon Eaters were sighing that they would no longer be able to continue watching, a raging flame suddenly appeared out of thin air. Rumble. Hundreds of fireballs that were bigger than buildings appeared almost at the same time, forming an incomparable flame storm. This flame storm instantly collided with the extremely cold breath coming from it. Zzz. The flame and the cold have reached a tacit blend. Cancel each other, dissolve each other. It's you. When Aokiji saw clearly the person standing in front of the deck of the Going Merry blocking him, his face was slightly startled. He remembered that during the last battle on Long Island, Nico Robin can't make such a large-scale flame. Aokiji. The relationship between us has been settled, so I will not show mercy to you. Nico Robin folded her hands in front of her body, ready to strike at any time. Her face was frosty, and she continued coldly, "Don't blame me for not reminding you. In our team, even if you beat our captain, we will not necessarily mad at you. But, if you dare to touch a single hair of this girl, I swear to you, you will die miserably." What a really terrible threat. Aokiji stamped his head. Obviously, he didn't take this kind of words seriously. Your flame seems to have become stronger, but I remember that your physical strength is very problematic. If you use it too much, you can't stop me. And that live den mushy, I must turn it off. Saying that, Aokiji released the chilling air again. Rumble. The extreme cold atmosphere is layered on top of each other and intertwined with each other, forming an even colder extremely cold air field. The results of many years of experience are reflected at this moment. With the earlier big move, Robin must be exhausted. But Aokiji doesn't seem to have even a trace of disorder in her breath. When the majestic extremely cold air field is stacked together, it is like 10 large rivers erupting torrents at the same time, rushing towards Going Merry with the momentum of destroying everything. Let me. Seeing that Robin might not be able to resist, Frankie rushed forward at once. He opened his arms, and a swarthy muzzle appeared. Incineration cannon. Boom. Dazzling fire exploded from his muzzle. The light cannon condensed by the orange fire blasted into the extremely cold air field without any hesitation. In an instant, the advancing momentum of the extremely cold aura was suppressed. Only. After a while, the momentum of the incineration cannon decreased, but the momentum of the extremely cold aura continued to replenish. Aokiji is like an iceman at this time, driving the terrible deep cold behind the extremely cold aura. Bastard! This guy is too strong. Frankie looked at his shrunken flame with a dazed expression. Go and tell Logan, I'll fight him for a while. Robin said anxiously. Frankie also understands that the situation is very critical now, so he has to go. But at this moment, a terrible coldness suddenly appeared behind them. He had an illusion that the icy cold coming from behind was even more terrifying than the extremely cold aura created by Aokiji in front of him. He can't help shivering from the cold. And Frankie could sense that the chill behind him wasn't aimed at him. Otherwise, when he was unprepared just now, he should have been frozen instantly. Subconsciously, both Frankie and Robin turned their heads to look behind them, and suddenly saw a green-skinned beast looking angrily at Aokiji ahead. It seems that this beast has the characteristics of a mermaid, a bird, and even a monster. Probably a combination of these things. Chopper. But Robin recognized the monster immediately. Because no matter how Chopper changes, his pair of antlers remain the same. What happened to Chopper is that he consumed the Alrescaglaces Rumbe ball, turning him into Akatsuki 12th familiar Pisces Dodekatos. If you want to hurt Mary, I will never allow it. Chopper jumped and jumped straight down. His body hit Aokiji's extremely cold aura directly. Chopper! Robin and Frankie exclaimed anxiously at the same time. Aokiji was also taken aback. Did you take the initiative to commit suicide? Although he doesn't know the ability of the monster in front of him, he is very clear about the power of his extremely cold aura. Let alone a monster more than 10 meters tall, even sea kings, in front of his extremely cold aura, will end up the same. Wow! A strange howling sound suddenly appeared in the extremely cold air field. The next moment, he saw Chopper, who had transformed, shoot out red eyes. Number A. With overwhelming momentum, it rushed towards the front of Going Merry. This coldness directly swept Aokiji's extremely cold aura, rolling forward together. Ka 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 ka. The ground. The sea. That sky. At this moment, everything freezes and freezes. And this icy momentum pushed back toward the marine combat platform at an ever-increasing speed. When passing by Aokiji, Aokiji seems to feel a cold shiver. Feeling the chill, Aokiji is not feeling well. Previously at Long Island, he had seen Logan, Nami ice haki, although he was shocked, but that was within his acceptable range. But the chill he feel right now. It let Aokiji feel that this is even beyond the level of devil fruit. It's too cold to be exaggerated. Wherever the cold passes. Not only the ice surface and the ground were frozen twice, but even the sea and the sky were forced to flow out of pillars. And as the chill continues to hit the battle platform, these icicles are still being produced. It seems that the marine fort has created countless pillars at once. Yo ho 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 ho! Brook finally caught up. He rode the Ghost Rider and slammed into Aokiji's body. The fire of hell erupted with a bang. Aokiji's body exploded again. The burning motorcycle drew a perfect arc on the ice. Brook came to a sudden break. He looked at the broken Aokiji and spread his hands. Ah, it seems like there was a traffic accident. Both Frankie and Robin curled their lips. You obviously did it on purpose. Chapter 196. With Chopper's strong attack and Brook's return aid, Aokiji obviously can't get any advantage. After all, the restraining effect of hellfire on ice fruit is quite obvious. On the mast, Mary turned the video Den Den Mushi around, and made a gesture of scissors to herself. Hi everyone, I'm the little reporter of the Straw Hat Pirates, and I'm giving you an exclusive live broadcast now. Pouting her mouth playfully, Mary recast the camera of the live Den Den Mushi on the battlefield. Wow! Who is that cute little girl? It's so cute! My heart disease has been activated. The Straw Hat Pirates actually have such a cute and invincible girl, it's so happy to be a pirate in this pirate group. I declare that starting today, I am a fan of the Straw Hat Pirates. Little beauty, you must continue the live broadcast. Whether we can continue to watch this war today depends entirely on you. In front of the big screens, the crowd was boiling. Although what they said could not be conveyed to the scene, but the irresistible cute girl style of Mary made 99% of the men become fans. Of course, the old ants are no exception, they are all think Mary is cute. At this time, in the live camera. Bastard, Squard, you were tricked by Marine. How can you not trust Pop? Marco grabbed Squard's clothes and angrily reprimanded him. Squard laughed. Marco, are you even pretending to be stupid? At this time, Whitebeard sighed. The fact that Ace is Roger's son is indeed an indisputable fact, and they took advantage of this to successfully deceive a person who is most easily swayed by it. Their schemes are better than ours. Whitebeard's face was deep, and he looked down at Squard in front of him. What a stupid son. Ugh. Seeing Whitebeard's reaction at this time, Squard also came to his senses a little. Immediately I felt conflicted and ashamed. Mad, this Squard seems to realize that he was cheated by Marine. It was only at this time that I realized that there is something wrong. His pop was stabbed by him. Look, his pop is going to be angry. It's the last few seconds of his life. Yet, what's the use of keeping such an idiot son? It's best to kill him. There is no doubt that Whitebeard's sword will behead him. That's for sure, such a guy, don't kill G. Everyone firmly believed that Squard would die at the hands of Whitebeard in the next moment. Even Squard himself thought his time had come. However, under everyone's unbelievable eyes, Whitebeard squatted down and hugged Squard in his arms. Although you are a stupid son, I still love you. This move caused an uproar all over the world. Damn it! This man really deserves his pop status. What are you kidding? You obviously want to use our lives. But Squard still wanted to stick to his prejudice at all. He roared vigorously. Whitebeard said in a deep voice, "You are so honest and loyal, who led you astray?" Squard gritted his teeth. Marine Admiral Akainu said he was against this war. So, as long as I can kill you, he will help us pirates and let us go. These words spread throughout the world through Mary's live broadcast. People are not fools, they naturally have their own idea. Hearing this, people are outraged. Ah! This idiot! He actually believed the enemy's words, but not his captain. What a disgrace to the pirate world! How stupid is this guy believe someone like Akainu? The most ridiculous thing is that Akainu said that as long as he plots against Whitebeard, he can let them go. Is this logical? Damn logic! This silly little spider was tricked by Akainu because of his hatred for Roger. Oh, Marine's tricks are really beautiful. But anyone who is not a fool can immediately hear that something is wrong. If Whitebeard is dead, can Marine let you off the Maelstrom Spider pirates? Even if a fool becomes the Marine Fleet Admiral, he should know how to take advantage of the situation and wipe them all out. Is that what Akainu said? Listening to Squard's answer, Whitebeard sighed heavily, and he looked at Squard. How much you hate Roger, I know very well. But, Squard, how ridiculous is this kind of thing? Did Ace ever do you anything wrong? You are all my family. Standing up slowly, Whitebeard stood up straight. His back is as solid as a mountain. Looking at Sengoku on the execution platform from a distance, Whitebeard said coldly, "You are so smart. Sengoku. You actually said that I betrayed my son. You did a great job." Thinking of Sengoku's move to shut down the live Den Den Mushi just now, Whitebeard understood everything. If it hadn't been for the fact that Mary has been live broadcasting all the time, then he, Whitebeard, will be blamed for betraying his sons now. Immediately, Whitebeard raised his arms. Clenched fists slammed fiercely to both sides. Boom! The terrible air shock spread to the icebergs on both sides in an instant. Ka 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 ka! The icebergs on both sides, which were originally ice by the tsunami, directly turned into ice blocks and rocks in the sky under the eruption of Whitebeard, and crashed down. The passages on both sides have been opened. The ships over there are also able to pass. In this way, we can withdraw at any time. Looking at Whitebeard's actions at this time, those pirates who were still a little shaken by Whitebeard at this time no longer have any doubts about Whitebeard. Akainu said Pop betrayed them? But isn't he the one who opened the way for them now? Moreover, it's not the first day we know what kind of person Pop is. Stupid, Squard. As a pirate, you have to decide for yourself what to believe. Whitebeard looked forward firmly, and he shouted, "If you are not afraid of death, come with me." As soon as the words fell, Whitebeard ignored the still bleeding chest, stepped on his feet, and jumped off the deck of the Moby Dick. Come on! Open the way for Pop. It is unforgivable for Marine to use such despicable means to hurt Pop. For Whitebeard. Fight! The entire Whitebeard pirates, from top to bottom, are all excited at this time. Like berserkers who have been injected with adrenaline, they swarmed and rushed while roaring. Chapter 197. Akainu, do it! At this time, Sengoku shouted an order to Akainu. Understood. Sakazuki, the only one among the three admirals who was still guarding under the execution platform, moved at this moment. Behind him, thick smoke billowed into the sky. It was countless lavas emerging out of thin air, turning into a sea of burning. Meteor volcano. The burning ocean behind Akainu is like a bottomless crater, endless lava forming countless magma fists, shooting into the sky. Then, these magma fists traced billowing smoke in the air and fell towards the pirates in Crescent Harbor. Ah! This is what Akainu did. Made. He wants to burn us. No. His purpose is even more ruthless. He wants to melt the ice and make us completely lose our foothold. Such a vicious approach. After understanding what Sengoku and Akainu did, the pirates roared into the sky. Yo ho 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 ho! It seems that we have to do it. Watching the lava falling from the sky, Brook swung the soul chain in his hand, and exploded a fist of lava with one blow. Boom! The lava fist exploded, turning into a large amount of magma rain and splashing down. Ah! It's hot! Wow, it's so hot! Although the magma was punch, it splashed down, causing a larger area of damage instead. Hey hey! Brook's skull face turned red, and he scratched his head in embarrassment. Frost fog! Chopper on the side happened to be in the transformation. He raised his head and screamed to the sky. A cold air burst out from his mouth. As he kept shaking his head, the cold air spread to the sky like water. Wherever they passed, those lava fists were all ice into ice. Although these big ice cubes are still powerful when they fall down, they are much better than falling down such a big pile of lava. Looks like I have to do something. At this time, Logan and Kizaru has been fighting. As long as Kizaru doesn't move, Logan will be happy. Coincidentally, Kizaru thought so too. The two of them stood there, as if they were masters confronting each other with their minds, but they were all playing chicken. Logan communicated with the wind card of the Clow card. Immediately, the magic power of the wind card was released by Logan. The strong wind rises from the ground, and the lava is blown by the wind. The scalding magma that was originally falling to the ground was swept backwards into the sky under the raging gust of wind. Not only Logan is making a move, but Nami is also doing the same thing. The two strong winds directly contracted all the areas hit by meteor volcano. The magma was re-rolled back into the sky. Wahahaha! Saved! Where does this wind come from? God help us! Look, the magma seems to be blown back by the wind. Amidst the excited cheers of the pirates, I saw the magma flying to the sky above marine with the strong wind, and it was scattered down. Not good. Seeing the magma falling down, Sengoku's face changed drastically. He shouted in shock, Aokiji! At this moment, the first thing he thought of was Aokiji's ice fruit. Only ice fruit is capable of handling such a large-scale magma fall. Otherwise, many marine soldiers will die under Akainu's lava in this wave. That's too late. Without Sengoku saying much, Aokiji also wants to make a move. But the problem is, in order to fulfill Sengoku's order, Aokiji rushed from the opposite side of the execution platform to Going Merry. Now he is asked to rescue the battlefield on the other side of the execution platform. Unless he can teleport, otherwise, it's over. Looking at the concentrated falling magma, the marine soldiers fell into deep despair. Although the magma was cooled a lot by the two gusts of wind in the air, its power is still not to be underestimated. If it falls down, they will still die. Just when marines seemed to be powerless, a silver-haired grandmother among the marine high-rank sighed. Fortunately, these magmas fell in a concentrated way. Otherwise, it would be really troublesome. While speaking, Vice Admiral Tsuru made a slow-motion move with her left hand, and repeated the slow motion with her right hand. She saw two swirling waves drawn out of thin air by her. The moment these two fluctuations appeared, they seemed to form the same reflection in the midair. Clatter! The magma that was about to fall was all twisted into a strange energy vortex at this moment. It was as if there was a huge drum washing machine in the sky, spinning rapidly. At this moment, those fiery magmas were like helpless rock trapped in whirlpool, unable to control themselves at all, and were violently stirred up. It's Vice Admiral Tsuru. Great, that's the ability to wash fruits. Our lives are given by Vice Admiral Tsuru. Vice Admiral Tsuru gave us a second life, she will be my benefactor from now on. In the rejoicing of the rest of their lives, many Marines even joked. It has to be said that these Marines who can be invited to the headquarters to participate in the Summit War are indeed all at the elite level. Even in the face of life and death, they performed much better than those rookies. Clatter! When the drum washing machine churned, the magma had already cooled completely, and was stirred into a pot of magma ash, which floated away from the sky. Can wash fruit be used like this? A strange look appeared on Logan's face. Gururara! Taking advantage of the situation at this time, Whitebeard advanced rapidly. Wherever he passed along the way, whether it was a marine officer or an ordinary soldier, they were all swept away by his Murakumagari. Whitebeard! You can't get on the execution platform! A voice roared loudly, and the 10-meter-tall giant Vice Admiral John Giant appeared, and he slashed at Whitebeard's head from top to bottom. Boom! Whitebeard raised his naginata to welcome. The two forces collided, and Whitebeard's arm trembled visible to the naked eye. No doubt. Whitebeard is old and seriously ill, and was stabbed in the chest again. Now he is really not as powerful as before. Don't even think about passing here. Sensing Whitebeard's seemingly inexhaustible strength, Giant Vice Admiral John Giant grew more confident. But the next moment, Whitebeard jerked his arms loose, grabbing empty hands. Bang bang bang! The shattering fluctuations of the basic vibration appeared out of thin air on John Giant's body. As Whitebeard pulled down hard, the body of the giant, which was more than 10 meters high, suddenly fell down. Whitebeard jumped up and punched the giant Vice Admiral in the chest. Puff! Hot blood spurted out of John Giant's mouth like a water tank burst, and then passed out. Little Oars, there is a change in the plan. Knocking down the giant Vice Admiral, Whitebeard immediately issued an order to Little Oars Jr. At this time, all the warships of the Whitebeard pirates appeared. But in fact, there is also a larger pirate ship lurking in the water of Crescent Harbor. According to Whitebeard's original plan, when they all rushed into the Crescent Harbor, it was time for this pirate ship to show up. And this pirate ship is still a paddle steamer, which can travel on the ground. If the plan goes well, the paddle steamer should show up at this time, and then Little Oars Jr. will pick up the paddle steamer and rush to the battle platform of Marine, allowing the pirate army to attack in one fell swoop. However, something unexpected happened. At this time, Crescent Harbor Bay was completely ice. Even the opportunity that might have been broken by Akainu's meteor volcano just now was blocked by the Straw Hat pirates. In this way, the paddle steamer lurking at the bottom of Crescent Harbor will not be able to come on board. He have no choice but to temporarily change the plan. Okay, Pop, just watch me. Little Oars strode over, hugged the ice edge with both hands, and lifted up with all his strength. Boom 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 boom. With the force of Little Oars, the ice surroundings snapped one after another. Then, in the astonishment of everyone, the ice layer in the middle of Crescent Harbor was lifted up abruptly by Little Oars. Almost exerting all his strength, Little Oars lifted one end of the ice layer onto the marine combat platform, and then lifted it hard. Everyone on the ice layer slid down towards the battle platform of Marine Ford like they were making slides. Even the pirate ships and warships on the ice are the same. Wahaha! There is no obstacle ahead. Those Marines were slid back too. Come on! Break into the marine platform. Then the landslide charge of the ice, the pirate army almost all passed the battle platform of Marine Ford in a short moment. Get out of here! Facing a group of marine soldiers rushing over, Whitebeard slashed. Wow! These marine soldiers suddenly fell like withered snowflakes. But at this moment, the temperature in front of Whitebeard suddenly. The sulphurous smell emitted by the burning magma rushed to the face. A hot figure suddenly appeared. It was Admiral Akainu. Just when Whitebeard was about to make a second swing at several marine rear admirals, Akainu stepped on Murakumagari's sword. Rumble! Billows of lava exploded at Akainu's feet, sending out terrifying temperatures and force zones. Whitebeard! Don't think you can run amok on this island. Akainu crossed his arms in front of him, looking very intimidating. Gururara! Then you just keep watch. Whitebeard kicked hard and lifted Akainu's foot. A hint of arrogance appeared at the corner of his bleeding mouth. The next moment, he punched out. Ka 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 ka. The sea was violently shaken, and the atmosphere shattered. Akainu also punched out. The tumbling magma burst out like a thunderclap. Boom! This moment, the devil fruit with the strongest destructive power and the devil fruit with the strongest attack power collide. Chapter 198. Boom! For a time, the magma and the power of the vibration exploded at the same time. The surrounding pirates and marines were all blown away. Meanwhile, at the scaffold, Luffy had already rushed directly under the execution platform. Cien Fleur Earth-style wall. Robin in the distance has been paying attention to the situation on Luffy's side. Seeing that Luffy is close to the site, she immediately makes a move. The Earth-style wall that had just been trained just before arriving at Marine Ford came in handy at this time. On the ground, countless arms protruded densely like a jungle. Those palms quickly formed seals, and they were pressed to the ground in an instant. Boom! The ground seemed to be alive, violently lifted. Layer by layer, forming an Earth-style staircase leading directly to the execution platform. Thank you, Robin. With so many arms, Luffy knew it was Robin's move. Without any extra hesitation, he rushed forward directly. However, execute him! Sengoku suddenly called out. This shout shocked the world immediately. What? Marine is going to execute early. I really didn't expect it. The execution time set by Sengoku himself was overturned by himself. Is that shameless? I can understand it too. The people who trying to rescue Ace is already in front. Execution at this time can instantly damage the morale of the opponent. Sengoku is smart. Nonsense. This is still live. If he did this, It will damage Marine reputation. That's right. If Marine was in control of the situation, Sengoku would definitely not have issued such an order. This move is more like retreating. However, this is final outcome of this war. Marine is completely ashamed this time. All over the world, all the people watching this war were stunned by Sengoku's sudden shout. Even the two executioners with execution swords were stunned for a moment. Afterwards, they reacted and raised the execution swords in their hands without hesitation. The two long swords fell fiercely towards Ace's neck from the left and right sides. Don't, dot. Seeing this scene, Luffy roared anxiously. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the sky, two sonic booms appeared. In the blink of an eye, two marine soldiers holding execution swords burst out with blood instantly. Their bodies were like kites with a broken string, and they were ruthlessly killed on the execution platform. What? Sengoku's eyes widened, looking in the direction of the Going Merry. There are two attacks that strike instantly. After crossing such a long sea and air distance, it precisely landed on the bodies of the two executioners. That kind of attack cannot be seen, but it can be felt with observation haki. There is no doubt that this was shot by a sniper. To be able to accurately shot at such a long distance, this sniper is very strong. What shocked Sengoku even more is the two attack just now not only revealed a trace of shockwave that frightened the soul, but the most important thing was those two attack appeared at the same time. There is no delay in between. What does that mean? This means that the two shot just now are the two shot fired by the sniper at the same time. The two shot hitting a different target at the same time. This obviously cannot be caused by firearms. When Sengoku locked onto Going Merry's mast with observation haki, he was in shock. Why? How can it be a slingshot? Sengoku couldn't believe his eyes. Can a slingshot shoot this far? And so accurate? Ace, I'm here to save you. Luffy let out a long sigh of relief, and rushed to the execution platform quickly. Only 20 meters away. He can touch Ace. But at this moment, a figure descended from the sky and landed heavily on the steps of the earth wall. Boom! The huge impact directly caused the ladder to burst. It's Marine Hero Garp. OMG! Vice Admiral Garp joins the defense. That kid can't make it through. The sudden figure immediately reversed the situation of the battlefield. Even Luffy himself had a sudden heart attack. The childhood shadows of being thrown off a cliff, tied to a balloon, and left in the jungle after starving for days and nights came to his mind again. Grandpa! Luffy gritted his teeth, despite the psychological shadow, but in order to save Ace, he still overcame all the obstacles in his heart without hesitation. While running, he yelled, "Grandpa! Get out of there! How is that possible? Luffy, I am Marine Vice Admiral!" Garp rushed out, fists clenched. He grinned ferociously and roared, "I was already fighting pirates before you were born. If you want to pass, kill me first." StrawHats. Luffy. When Garp changed his name from Luffy to Straw Hat Luffy, it showed that he was firming up his position. No doubt. At this moment, Garp only thinks of himself as a marine. Only think of Luffy as the pirate with the title of Straw Hat Luffy. Listening to Garp addressing him, Luffy was taken aback. Although he was often abused by his grandfather since he was a child, he will never be unaware of his grandfather's love and expectations for him. When Garp shouted Straw Hat Luffy, Luffy felt scared for the first time. It was a heavy feeling to choose between Grandpa and Ace. But Grandpa can coax later, but Ace is going to die soon. How should he choose here? Anyone who is not a fool knows what to do. Grandpa, I can't do it. Get out of the way. Near. Closer. Kill Grandpa first? Luffy said he couldn't do it. Certainly. He never considered whether he has the strength to kill Garp. Garp roared fiercely, "If you can't do it, Ace will only die." This sounds harsh, but if you think about it carefully. Isn't this irritating Luffy? Garp knew how much Luffy cared about Ace, so he deliberately brought up the matter of Ace's death at this time, which immediately strengthened Luffy's determination. No. I never allow this to happen. Luffy gritted his teeth, full of strength. There are so many things you don't agree with. I won't show mercy. Seeing Luffy approaching, Garp raised his right hand, his sandbag-sized fist was full of strength, and roared, "From now on, Luffy. You are my enemy." Luffy's whole body suddenly turned white, and his muscles swelled. The huge fist was suddenly inflated and enlarged. The fists of the two hit each other almost at the same time. Looking at Luffy in front of him, Garp's eyes were blurred. For a moment, he closed his eyes. Luffy's fist landed heavily on Garp's chin. Boom! Garp plunged headlong into the rubble below. Chapter 199. When this scene appeared, the entire battlefield suddenly fell into a moment of silence. Marine Vice Admiral Garp gets punched by Straw Hat Luffy? The man who could push Roger into corners several times was actually beaten away by a young pirate? Many people who don't know the relationship between Garp and Luffy are dumbfounded at this time. But those who know the inside story are filled with emotion. You can't escape the love of your family. Garp Sengoku murmured. He looked at Luffy who was rushing up, and realized that he had to do it himself. Luffy stepped onto the execution platform at this time, and rushed towards Ace excitedly. Straw Hat Boy! Don't be too proud! Sengoku suddenly stood in front of Ace, and he suddenly burst into golden light. The figure of the whole person is instantly magnified several times. It suddenly turned into a golden Buddha. Sengoku! Luffy raised his head and looked up, his price suddenly changed. Look! That's Fleet Admiral Sengoku's ability. FK? This is the first time I've seen it. Fleet Admiral Sengoku has been in the background for so long that many people have forgotten that he was once a pirate's nightmare. Yes, although Fleet Admiral Sengoku is known as the resourceful general, don't forget that he is also very strong. That's right, if you don't have the strength of Admiral, it is impossible to become Admiral first and then Fleet Admiral. Sengoku's attack immediately aroused everyone's shock. Especially many watchers who saw Sengoku's ability for the first time, were completely stunned by this golden Buddha. This golden Buddha looks amazing. Stop! Straw Hat! Don't think I'll let you go. With a thunderous shout from the golden light Buddha, Sengoku raised his fist that was shining with Buddha's light. I won't show mercy either. Luffy gritted his teeth and glared at Sengoku and his body suddenly shook. Boom! Bang bang! Boom 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 boom! As Luffy's momentum changed, bursts of drums with a special rhythm suddenly reached everyone's ears. What is that? Where's the sound of the drums? This drum sounds, why does it have a feeling of freedom? It's such an intoxicating sound. If it's not on the battlefield, I really want to dance to the sound of the drum. On the battlefield, whether it is a pirate or a marine, listening to the drums full of special rhythms, they all fell into a feeling of longing for freedom and liberation. Especially pirates. They won't be pirates because they have a longing for freedom in their hearts. But at this time, listening to the sound of the drums, the longing for freedom was strongly stimulated. Not only that, the audience who watched the live broadcast in front of the big screens also heard the drums of freedom from the big screens. Hey, 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 where is the sound of the drum coming from? It's so exciting. FK? I thought I was hallucinating. So you heard it too. Drums indeed. It seems to be coming from Marineford. What the hell is this drum sound? Why does it make my blood boil, and I have a feeling of wanting to pursue freedom? People are starting to boil. Many people couldn't sit still and stood up. They stared at the big screen intently, wanting to find the source of the drum sound. Marineford. What? When Sengoku also heard the drumbeat, his face suddenly changed. Others don't know, but he is the Marine Fleet Admiral. He knows more things than others. Like Luffy's devil fruit. 5 elders knows, Sengoku naturally knows. Although this devil fruit is called rubber fruit, it is only a name modified by the world government. The real name of this devil fruit should be called mythical Zoan human fruit model sun god Nika. And now, the drum. Sengoku, who is so close, can hear that it's Luffy's heartbeat. Heartbeat sounds like free drums. Sengoku's mind suddenly realized something. Drums of freedom, fighters of liberation. That's rubber fruit awakening. At the same time, above the red line, Marie Joyce, known as the Holy Land. There is a castle here, named Pangaea Castle. In Pangaea Castle, in the meeting hall of the 5 elders, the 5 elders are watching the battle scene of the Marineford through the live broadcast at this time. What? The moment he heard the drumbeat of freedom, one of the elder, who was originally sitting on the sofa, suddenly jumped up. Snow-white hair and beard. His 2 eyeballs widened suddenly, almost falling to the ground. This is... He rushed to the front of the big screen with a brisk walk, stared at Luffy, and exclaimed, This kid, Joy Boy. Damn! How could this happen? Isn't this devil fruit completely dead? The blonde old elder complexion became extremely ugly. The devil fruit, he said, is dead, of course not the traditional concept of death. But this devil fruit has not been awakened for nearly 800 years. It's like a volcano that has always had the possibility of erupting. It can last for hundreds of years without incident, and others will subjectively think that it is an inactive volcano. For so many years, the world government has been trying to take back this devil fruit. But this devil fruit seems to have a self-awareness, and slipped away from the world government. And now, it has awakened. It's not a good phenomenon. Joy Boy has awakened in this era, could it be that? Shut up! Lord Imu doesn't like to hear such words. Whether he is Joy Boy or not, we must nip this fire of freedom in the bud. That's right, the top priority is to kill this Straw Hat boy. 5 elders made a decision quickly after you spoke to me. Elder. Soon, a CP0 wearing a yin and yang eye mask walks in. Lead your team immediately and go to Marineford as quickly as possible. If you can arrive before the end of this war, remember, no matter what means you use, you must kill the Straw Hat boy. The elder issued a firm order. The Straw Hat. Yin Yang Mask CP0 frowned slightly. Who is that? Hearing this, the elder realized that the Straw Hat boy just entered the public eye scene. It's perfectly normal for someone at the CP0 to not know. Then, he pointed to the big screen. That's the kid in the straw hat. Understood. The CP0 with the yin and yang eye mask just confirmed the appearance of the Straw Hat boy, but suddenly he was taken aback. Because in the picture, the appearance of the Straw Hat boy suddenly changed. Ah ha 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 ha. Ah ha 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 me. This heartbeat sound is so funny. So happy. Luffy grinned wide and laughed happily. At the same time, his clothes suddenly turned white. The hair turned into a white flame, constantly beating. Around his neck, underarms, and other places, there are white steam horses. Luffy. Seeing the big change of Luffy in front of him, Ace was dumbfounded. His shocked eyeballs popped out of their sockets. This time it's not exaggeration, it's real. Ace's eyeballs really jumped out of the eye sockets, like 2 living beads, dancing outside the eye sockets. Nanny. Sengoku accidentally caught a glimpse of this scene, and was so frightened that his mouth grew wide. Eyeballs flying out of their sockets? What is this scene? But he opened his mouth in surprise, and his chin dropped to the ground. No exaggeration, it was really dragged to the ground. Damn! What's wrong with Fleet Admiral Sengoku? Can he open his mouth so wide? Scared me to death. I thought something was wrong with him. Hey, hello. Isn't this all right? Why do I feel like I'm watching a cartoon? Can a person's mouth really open enough to pull his chin to the ground? And that Ace, the eyeballs are flying out, it's too ridiculous. Those people around the execution platform saw the situation of Ace and Sengoku at this time, and they all had some doubts about life. Maid. Is this just a dream? I am afraid that the only person in the audience who is not confused is Logan. As a spoiler, he knows that this is all because of the sun god Nika. When rubber fruit awakens Nika, it will have an impact on everything around it. Not only can it assimilate the objects it touches into rubber, but it can also make the people around it have a cartoonish effect. So, after awakening, this devil fruit will be regarded as the most overpowered devil fruit in the world. It seems that this time I really can't let you go. Sengoku's heart speeded up at this moment. He knew that things were beyond the scope of his prediction. At this moment, he is afraid killing Ace is no longer an important matter. The important thing is to solve this Joy Boy in front of him. Sorry, old man. Even if he is your grandson, I can't no longer held back. In the original plot, when Sengoku faced Luffy, he actually held back. With Luffy's mediocre strength at that time, facing an admiral with mythical Zoan strength in the transformation state, how can Luffy survive? Is that reasonable? In that case, if Sengoku didn't show mercy, it would only make sense for Sengoku to knock Luffy out. But now, when the identity of Luffy's Joy Boy appeared, Sengoku's original hidden intention disappeared instantly. What he is determined to do now is to kill Joy Boy. Thinking of this, Sengoku no longer kept his strength, and immediately mobilized the power of Devil Fruit in his body. Mythical Beast Human Fruit Great Buddha Form. Awaken. Chapter 200. With the awakening of the Buddha, the back of Sengoku's head suddenly shone with golden light, extremely dazzling. Ah! What blinded my eyes? What is this golden light? Oh my god, what is Sengoku's ability? Isn't that too exaggerated? This is the real Buddha. As the back of Sengoku's head blooms, oh no, consecration. A big golden sun appeared behind Sengoku's head. There are auspicious floats around, which is spectacular. The entire Marineford battlefield is now illuminated by golden Buddha light, as if a true Buddha came to the world. Hey! Luffy's head was tilted 90 degrees to the left, with a super wow expression on his face. This is so much fun. Ah ha ha ha. Straw Hat Boy, can you still laugh? Get ready to accept justice. Sengoku clenched his right fist and retracted it. The golden Buddha's light condenses on this fist, shining countless golden stars. Buddha fist. As Sengoku uttered words like the sound of Buddha's voice, his voice was like a multi-directional stereo reverberation effect, shocking the audience. Then, he punched out. In addition to the arms wrapped in the jet black armament haki, there is a layer of golden Buddha light. Around the Buddha's light, there are countless Buddhist symbols of life beating crazily. Luffy! Careful! Almost at the same time, Ace and Garp both cried out anxiously. They are anxious, and there is no way to rescue Luffy at this time. Boom! Sengoku's Buddha fist landed on Luffy's chest with a bang, and punched through directly. What? Sanji looked terrified and froze in place. Luffy! Nami turned pale with fright and was stunned. Luffy! Zoro also stopped fighting with Mihawk, and his expression changed drastically, and he stared in Luffy's direction. Mihawk didn't continue to do anything, but squinted his eyes slightly, looked towards the direction of the execution platform, and murmured, "No way, that kid just died like this? Impossible. Luffy. How can this be?" Usopp looked crazy, standing on the mast, helpless. Chopper, Robin, Kaya, Brook, Frankie and others also showed expressions of disbelief at this time. Only Logan took a look, and the corner of his mouth twitched slightly. Luffy's ability is really scary. Sabayati Archipelago. Ah! The Straw Hat Kid died. At this time, Apo's mouth was opened like a ladle, and he stood up abruptly. His face was full of astonishment. It's too sudden. That's right. Those guys in the Straw Hat Pirates are also exaggerated in strength. They fight Vice Admiral, and those who fight Admiral. I didn't expect the captain to be so weak. Give me a second. Capone Beak took a deep breath of the cigarette, and couldn't believe what he saw. The crew members hung up one by one, but when they arrived at the captain's place, the live broadcast was interrupted. Is this so reasonable? What an exaggeration! Kid grinned, but that person is Sengoku after all. Don't make him an ordinary marine. Drake nodded, that's right, if anyone dares to underestimate Sengoku, he will definitely end up like a Straw Hat Kid. It's a pity, the Straw Hat. Trafalgar Law gently tugged on the brim of his hat, with a regretful expression on his face. Not far from them, Hawkins' two hands were quickly flipping the cards in front of him. After a while, his expression came to a sudden, that's not right, the hexagram shows that the death rate of the Straw Hat Boy is 0%. Marineford. Good job. With an excited look on Sakazuki's face, he shouted excitedly. Woo, I really didn't expect it, it's too scary. Kizaru curled his lips, still looking like he deserved a beating. Is he dead? Aokiji drew a distance from Brook, with surprise in his eyes. That's Garp's grandson. But was punched to death by Sengoku. No matter how good your relationship with Garp is, I'm afraid Mr. Garp won't let it go, right? Damn. Ace's brother. Marco fell from midair and stepped heavily on the ground, extremely angry. Ahem. That kid can't just die like this. Whitebeard coughed up a mouthful of blood, and his face became more and more ugly. Then why not? Sakazuki sneered, Whitebeard, you are also a fellow of the same era as Fleet Admiral Sengoku. Do you know the strength of Fleet Admiral Sengoku? Do you really think that a young pirates can be the opponent of Fleet Admiral Sengoku? Hearing this, Whitebeard's heart sank. Although he is unwilling to accept this kind of thing, but in all fairness, what Sakazuki said is not wrong. Although Sengoku is old, it would be a terrible thing to underestimate a veteran. But just when everyone thought Luffy was finished. Boom! Bang bang! Bang bang bang! Boom 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 boom. The sound of the drums, like the battle song of freedom, once again shook people's hearts. Hey hey hey! This is... All eyes turned towards Luffy at almost the same time. Ah ha ha ha! Ah ha ha ha! Luffy covered his forehead and laughed happily. He didn't care that there was still Sengoku's fist in the middle of his chest. On Sengoku's big face, there was an incomparable shock in an instant. Are you kidding me? He looked at his fist that pierced Luffy's chest, and then saw that Luffy looked like a normal person. This is a big joke. Not only does he think so, but the pirates and marines on the battlefield, and the melon eaters in front of the live broadcast screens. Everyone looked at this scene in disbelief. Ah ha ha ha! Luffy smiled for a while, clenched his hands into fists, elongated instantly, and launched towards Sengoku. Don't think I'm letting my guard down. Seeing Luffy attacking, Sengoku didn't think about why this strange situation happened anymore. He swung his left arm horizontally and blocked Luffy's fists directly. Not only that, but he also used observation haki to lock the trajectory of Luffy's two punches. Without any calculation errors, this can completely block Luffy's attack. Boom! Boom! As Sengoku expected, both of Luffy's fists landed on his crossed arm. Poof! Poof! After two strange sounds sounded, these two fists of Luffy actually drilled directly into Sengoku's arm, and then penetrated through. Sengoku was taken aback. He didn't feel any pain at all, but saw that Luffy's fist had come out of the side of his arm. Boom! Boom! Before Sengoku could react, these two fists landed on Sengoku's eyes. This is the legendary eye-sealing fist. Yes, first seal your vision. Poof! Poof! Another two strange voices. Then he saw that when Luffy's fists landed on Sengoku's eyes, it also directly penetrated through. All this sounds like a cumbersome process, but it actually happens in a flash. At this moment when everyone is still immersed in the matter of Luffy was killed by Sengoku with one punch, Luffy's fist has directly penetrated Sengoku's arm and eyes. Luffy's fist came out from the back of Sengoku's head. No doubt. Sengoku's arms, face, and the back of his head were all blown up. Hiss! This sudden big turning point scared almost everyone silly. On the entire marine-filled battlefield, it is strangely quiet at this time. But everyone who saw this scene couldn't help but gasped.
Thanks for listening.